Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Welcome
hello,
to
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
EGF.
back. Oh, I don't think I can hear you guys on Discord. Just a sec.
Yeah, it looks like we're having a
Can
little
you
bit
hear
of
me
a
now?
tech issue, but
Oh,
welcome,
all
everybody. Good
right.
to
Here we
see
go.
you all here. My name is Warren Chuckle God Hammond, joined on the mic by Later. How are you doing today?
Doing great, Juggle. Thank you for covering for me as we
Yeah,
resolve that
no
tech
worries.
issue. We have a lot of Valorant for you guys today. 4 best of 3 series in total. And starting us off, we got University of Delaware going up against Marquette University as the videos that just pulled up. Delaware's mascot is real funny.
It is. It is. Now, before we get into the game, let's take a quick peek at the standings, just so we have an idea of where these teams are coming from, what's happened to them in the past, any kind of information we can glean from these.
All right. Well, the number one spot right now, taken by William and Mary, was a 9-1 scoreline, 90% win ratio there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not see Delaware on the standings currently.
Yeah, I don't see Marquette either. So just a quick question to Prod. Just doubly checking that we have the I see. We're just looking at the top 10. So neither of these teams currently in the top 10 at the moment. So both of them looking to see if they can make an impression here. Maybe they can start to climb their way back up into the standings.
Absolutely. And of course, the game right after this was going to be University of Tennessee and St. John's University. So a lot of high ranking teams, plus the teams looking to make it to top 10, are present on today's stream. But looking at the rosters, we got an idea of Marquette University's ranks. It's an average right about Diamond 2, while on the other side, it seems like the average would somewhere be around Diamond 3 as well. So it seems like, Chuckle God, we are in for a very close series.
That it does. And I'm excited as well about the maps that we're going to be going to today. First off, gonna be seeing Icebox right after that. Of course, a new map Lotus, ending things on Descent. So Split, despite, of course, being back, it's been back for a while now, but still not gonna see it here today.
Yeah, but we got plenty of chances to see Split in action very, very soon. And a lot of teams after the split changes, it does take time for the teams to get used to all the changes and try to figure out what new strategies they want to bring to the table. And they're still taking their sweet time. Icebox being one of the classic maps, you're ready to get into it whenever you can.
Yeah, you certainly are, and that is a map. Talking about established strats, right? I mean, this is one of the maps that's been around basically forever here in Valorant. So very well practiced. These teams know what they're going to run. They know how they're going to approach both the attack and defense here. As we get a quick peek into the agent selects.
Of course, Delaware is going to be starting us off on the offensive side, but looking at the defensive roster here on a map like Icebox, sure, KO and Viper seem to be a very obvious choice, along with SOA as well. Only one duel is coming in from Marquette University, and that's going to be picked up by Sapphire Kel. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Over on the other side, we got a single duelist lineup as well. KJ on both sides, of course, and a SOA for all those initiating plays.
Indeed. We are also seeing the Sage come up here as well, which is no surprise. That wall it's just very, very useful, especially when we're talking about A-site attack pushes. So I'm expecting to see some of those kind of standard traditional strats coming out here today.
Absolutely. And, I have seen a lot of the high ranking teams not go for the two duelist setup here. And I like what I see. It's a pretty tactical setup. And as I say that, we see our Rice and Spherical being put up on Sage again. But okay, back to KO. They're just messing with this on the casting screen. But a pretty similar roster on each side. And seems like the duelist has currently disappeared from Marquette.
Yeah, pretty much completely, hasn't it? Yeah, we're gonna see double initiator, double sentinel coming out from them. So like you said, I feel like this feels like a very tactical pick coming out from Marquette University.
Absolutely, and coming in from the University of Delaware, they are starting off on the offensive side. So at least one duelist here would be crucial, and Jet or Race for that matter on a map like Icebox can be pretty useful. Ether going for the Jet pick, so we shall see what kind of offense he can bring onto the table.
Indeed. I also like. I think this. I think this speaks well to the sides these players are starting on too. Right. They're starting off with a little bit more aggressive potential with Aether on the Jet. I think makes a lot of sense. Plus, being a little bit more defensive to start things out for Marquette. It similarly makes some sense, right? It appears to be that both of these teams really kind of want to play for this first round and see if they can get an advantage, or rather this first half, and see if they can get an advantage moving into the second half when they swap sides.
And I do remember Rice from the previous streams, and this guy is a menace when it comes to early picks. This time going on KO, so helping out his team with initial reveals is going to be extremely crucial. Of course, as an all-rounder player, you should be able to pretty much play any agent in this game.
Yeah, it's true. And in addition, I like Rice as well. Like, it's kind of a counter to the Jet, right? If you can shut down that Blade Storm, that's going to be very beneficial to your team. Neither team making many big moves at the moment. Just kind of scouting, gathering a little information at the moment. Of course, Spike still back in a safe position in case any of these members go down. But the more forward position really being taken on A side at the moment.
No. Pretty much a map controlling pick here. Wherever you get the kill, that's where you decide to roll. And it seems like B side might be the one where they will find a kill. As we see, Ether is going to be the one to be peeking in first. Finds Saucy. Does he go for the peek? Yes, he does. Doesn't connect with the first few bullets, though. The dash is running out. Gets the head and gets the kill. B side seems to be theirs for the taking.
It absolutely does. We're going to see this Spike travel over there. Killjoy in the A side still chasing down the Sage, but Gratify able to get a counter pick here for Marquette University. It's a 3v4, so they're certainly not out of the woods yet, but this is definitely a situation. What's going to say they could come back to? Things are looking a little more dire at the moment now for Marquette. Azil trying to get a little bit of information, has revealed the position of KO, but there's still a lot of people around there that they're going to have to deal with. It's just going to be Croatify now, holding on to point. 1v3, this should be over relatively quickly. Shock Dart does not connect, and now they peak in just about everybody's LOS.
Yeah, of course, the offense, the initial entry into the side was crucial to get this B side here, but I would say that Lelk's lurk was perfectly timed. He was able to find at least 2 picks here while walking all the way from A side towards B, and these are the kind of lurks that you want to avoid. And that is why people have Cyphers or KJ in that team, but unfortunately the alarm bot wasn't around.
No, it was not that time. Seeing bigger picks coming in here as far as the guns are concerned for Delaware. Dart not going to reveal too much information, unfortunately, for the attacking squad. This time they are squatting up, all 5 pushing on towards A side, and this is to be expected considering they have such a dramatic gun advantage. Slow orb lands, but the defense not going to move. Ball goes up to see if they can get a little bit of cover. Dash away from Ether, able to get the final blow on Spherical. 4v3 once again.
Oh, that shock dart was very lethal. Ether is down to his last few points of health. Liang, it becomes a little, Cruelify rather, becomes a little impatient with that classic. Finds his demise almost immediately, but I love Babytron in a good position, but that Molly is going to come in clutch. Lel takes him down, Ether. And should he take a peek over to Saucy? I don't believe he does, but I don't believe he needs to. Nautical is going to be the one taking him down, and Delaware wins the second round with a classic A-side push.
That they do. Pretty cut and dry as far as that concerned. There's now we do see the rifles coming out from Marquette University. Gonna definitely be their best shot, at least at the moment, to come back in this. Ether getting very close to the Blade Storm as well, though, so that certainly needs to be on Marquette University's radar, especially if things get dicey and Ether is still standing and has been able to pick up 1 or 2 kills. But no commitment so far from University of Delaware as to which side they want to push.
And of course, now in a bit of a disadvantageous position, being the ones with the assault rifles and SMGs going up against Vandals, they want to be careful as to what kind of angles they should be peeking here, because once again, these are the highest of the ranks in Valorant. We can see all the Immortal and the Radiant gun buddies. We wouldn't want to be crossing the angles where the crosshairs have been placed. Spherical starting to find someone. Oh, Ether on the other side almost finds Saucy there, but Saucy decides to retreat. Ether's aim has been the one to not scoff at. That's how good he has been so far.
Yeah, they certainly have been. We're seeing a bit of a rotation now coming out from the attacking squad that will be Ether falling. So one of those biggest threats now out of the equation. Goyangi takes a little bit of damage. Not too terribly much, though, as they move forward. Marquette University making quick work of this attack, though, still with a one-player advantage. Gratify now falling back. A little concerned about getting caught in that corner to be revealed.
Last player standing.
Spike will go down. At least they get the money from that, but barring a hero play here, Marquette University will take this round.
Great plays overall from Marquette University, playing it as patiently as they possibly could. Even after that first loss over at B side, they did not hesitate to take it right back in their own hands. Utility was a bit of an issue there for Delaware as they were trying to save up for the bonus, and that is what they'll get.
They will. Both squads actually getting close to some key ultimates here as well. Undershield coming up for Croatify. And again, that Blade Storm now just about ready to go for Ether. So I'm going to be curious to see whether or not they use it. My bet is they're going to try and hold on to that, see if they can get the round win here with these rifles. And then when they're looking at a point where they're down in the economy, utilizing that Blade Storm to give them an advantage on one of those rounds. The moment, though, once again, no commitment here yet from the attacking squad. And a little bit more of a spread out defense coming out from Marquette University, at least than what we saw at the beginning of last round when they wanted to kind of cluster up around A site.
And I like what University of Delaware is bringing onto the table here with the kind of split out offense, but I would want to see some coordinated pushes straight towards the single side as well. Just switch things up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that University of Delaware certainly has the potential to be able to just push in pretty aggressively on one of these sites. We're going to see Aldrone come out, try and get a little information, but they're going to find actually a whole lot. Both walls up from Viper. Not going to be up for too terribly much longer, though. Still no picks, but a lot of site control, honestly, gained by University of Delaware. Marquette continues to fall back. And as they're doing that, they're not necessarily getting the picks. In fact, they are getting picked instead. I love Babylon caught in a very tough position. A lot of utility really around there. Not much they can do about it either. Looking for a peek.
But I think this can be, he can be the tie turner here. That is granted. Ether doesn't check that corner. Oh, the wall's perfect. Babytron.
Wow.
Wow. Rice coming in clutch. Babytron survives and he kicks down three with him. Now taking us into 1v1. Rice, last man alive. He's got the upper hand. He's got the higher ground, but Kevster is as fast as a bunny. Does he take him down? No, he doesn't. It's Rice coming out in clutch as Marquette University equalizes this game.
Yeah, that was a big round for Marquette University. Being able to hold on to these rifles, taking advantage here in the economy, and kind of make up for that lost ground that they had right at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Props to, Babytron for surviving that. That was so lucky, but Rice's Molly did it for him. Just that utility usage could not have been more perfect.
No, it couldn't, because they were not long for this world. That was a very difficult position that they found themselves in, and not a whole lot of ways out of it, really. But again, we do see the save rod coming in for Delaware. So again, Blade Storm popped almost immediately to see if they can give themselves the advantage in this push. But going to be immediately detected while trying to push out onto B site. And in the meantime, Spherical takes out Goyangi. So a lot of that big utility that you want as you're pushing onto the site, not going to be there without your Viper.
Absolutely not. It's Spherical. Props to him for having such an aggressive position. Oh, Ether, can you find... Oh,
wow.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nasty shot from Ether coming out. That knife landing in the skull. We see the swap over to the A site now. So while there was a lot of initial activity going on B, Delaware has decided they don't want to kind of mess with that. And I honestly feel like it's a good reason because there was a much more defensible position, I think, being put up there. But Marquette University finds a kill, starting to even things out.
God.
Another beautiful shot coming out from Aether. They're going to be cut down, though. 2v2 on the A site, but it is fully controlled by Delaware. Should be able to get the spike planted, but it appears that they don't necessarily want to do that. We do have the res coming in as well. So, advantage now once again to Delaware. The Blade Storm is back online. Rice now taking a position on the high ground. Looking for the head of Sova, unable to find it. Nautical able to bounce or hide pretty effectively. They do peek out, able to get the pick. So now, Saucy, 1v3. Looking for the high ground. Finds the elbow of Ether, but doesn't land the shots they need to, and because of the reload, Delaware gets the round.
It does seem like Marquette University's players were tunnel visioned on taking down the jet, and they completely forgot about the Stinger,
right?
the most powerful gun in the game.
Yeah, exactly. You can't turn your back on that, not at all. And you can't underestimate it, that is for sure. So we do have a timeout here. Defenders Marquette University want to see if they can stop the bleeding here before things get out of control for them. They do have 3 ultimates at the ready here.
3 ults to work with, and to be fair, if you have Rice's ult, a retake should be a little easier, considering you can shut down the mechanical duels, the aiming duels rather.
Right.
But coming in from the Delaware side, economy is still looking pretty good, so they have plenty of options to go here. They could just go for the classic split play, just get the kill, just go to the worst place wherever you get the first kill.
Right. Yeah, they could really just force the issue and try and take this simply by mechanics. And I feel like that might be a good idea too, because I don't think you necessarily want to give the opportunity for Marquette University to find a reason, to find a way to use these ultimates, right? So in particular, I think you're going to be looking to take out Rice, Babytron, and making sure that there's not a whole lot they can do to kind of prevent you from pushing in while you have this gun advantage. And we do see most everyone from Marquette University, or rather Delaware, opting for a B side push. We haven't seen a whole lot of action here, save for that first round.
Rice, he is in a crucial position here. Does have a stinger in his hand, could use the flash and find 2 here, but that does seem to be a difficult task. Nautical decides not to check the yellow box. Rice is in a pretty good position, gets the flash out. Ether evades him, Nautical takes him down, and that is some amazing team play coming in from the University of Delaware as they get towards the side, and the plant does go down.
And they eliminate one of the most crucial threats, right? Having Rice out of the mix means that you're much more likely to, I think, win out these mechanical duels, since you don't have to worry about all of your abilities, all of utility getting shut down. Another pick by Ether certainly makes things look like they're going to go pretty quickly the way University of Delaware. Another pick on board. Credify tries to find something, but University of Delaware will pick up a flawless round to make it 4-2.
4-2, and it was a bit of an eco coming in from Marquette University, so no harm, no foul. They got guns to work with. Most of them got guns to work with, and they should be able to bring something back here. However, this round right here is a little crucial in case you want to avoid a hefty lead against Delaware.
It certainly is, because at this point, you lose around here, you're gonna have to go to back to another economic round. So it honestly, a loss here, yes, 5-2, but more realistically, going to be looking at a 6-2 score line. Babylon gonna shut down A site completely with the Viper's pit, but still being poked and prodded. AJ just over there to make sure. I like this push through mid as well, coming out from Delaware's Viper. Not a whole lot of...
Yeah, I do appreciate the push coming in from Viper, but I would really appreciate if it would be somebody else rather than the Viper, because you need those
That's
other
fair.
ladies to take side. You
Yeah.
can't always just rely on Ether. You just force the issue, push in, and find 2 kills.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. And actually, we do see Viper backing up now, but already we're seeing such a forward position being taken by Ether and the Sova that it's going to be hard for them to catch up. So really, this push is going to be on the back of them. Burst to some damage from coming in. Perhaps faking the dash over to Yellow Box.
Rice is playing a very patient game here. He does need to find at least 2 in order to make it a little easier for his team. Gets traded immediately, but 1 kill is what he'll find. Delaware now have the spike plant down. Some amount of health lost by Nautical, but no harm there. Lel taken out immediately by the mid flank. Creatify is there to find him. Goyangi finds the trade as well, down to a 3v3 position here. Babytron, he is miles away from all the action, and Goyangi is going to be the one to finally find him peace. Creatify gets the trade as well. And it's just a lot of action there over at the midfield. Far away from the spike. Down to a 2v2. Ether, not spotted yet, still behind the yellow box. Saucy, gonna be taken down. He's not looking in the exact position, leaving Creatify to be taken down by Nautical. 5-2 being the scoreline. Delaware win a very crucial victory here.
They do. This makes not only, I think, this half much more likely to go their way. I mean, at this point, right, they win one more round, which they're likely to do here, and the worst that they can do is tie in the first half, right? So this is fantastic for Delaware. This is exactly where they want to be. We do have a DC, so we're going to see if we can get that taken care of just as quick as we can. Yeah, Marquette's got their work cut out for them at this point, Flater. You know, we saw a couple of good rounds there, round 3 and 4, but they really haven't been able to pick things back up since then, and they're losing a lot of the rounds where they've got an even chance, right? And you can't be doing that over and over again. They need to take some of these rounds.
Oh my God.
Ether, that was just nasty.
Somebody stop this man. He's causing havoc on Icebox here, Marquette University. I mean, Creatify, I'm so sorry for that one. Taken down as soon as the round began, sent to the spectator's side, and Marquette University are already starting with a bit of a disadvantage.
Babytron as well going to be forced out of some of that positioning. They actually fake they fake the retreat, but in the meantime, Delaware is just quickly gunning down everybody who takes an opportunity to peek. Saucy now just opting for the save, it appears. Either that or seeing if maybe they can find somebody here towards the end of the round.
No. Save might be your best option here in a 1v5 against Delaware. Not much you can do except looking for a pick here and there, playing just for the kills. But Ether seems like, you know, he's already spotted him. He's out for the kill. He's hungry and he's out for blood. As we see all the 4 players now slowly heading towards Saucy. Nautical, who finds him first.
Oh no, he moves away.
Saucy is taken down immediately. Goyangi is going to be the one to find that kill, and Delaware takes their 6th down victory.
Yeah, and of course this was pretty much to be expected just based on the recent way the rounds have gone, the economy of Marquette University. And I feel for it. Who was that at the very end? Saucy? I mean, twice was right at the corner. Could have seen somebody just turned at the wrong moment. So, I mean, it's still very unlikely that we're getting the round win there, but hey, maybe could have done something good for the economy. But as it stands, not going to be the case. Ultimate's on for both sides here as well. So, given that Marquette University really needs to win this round, unfortunately, that's not the way you want to start it. I'm expecting Marquette University to use a lot of this utility here on this round. Some of these ultimates, because yeah, they absolutely have to turn something around here later.
This was a good round for Marquette University to start them off. You know, they had Vandals to work with. It seems like Delaware was taking towards A again. Rice got a little bit impatient at B main, taken down. Creatify now trying to find a bit of damage with a shock dart. Detain, however, it should not matter that much. We got Delaware trying to take towards A side. Babytron finds one. Can he get another? Oh, what? I can't believe he just walked away with that one. Babytron, you know, and he has been in this position before. He can find players again, but it seems like Delaware, you know, they realize that, and they're off to a different side.
Yeah, they are. 30 seconds left to go, though, so honestly, I don't know if they've got time to rotate to the other side, but they won't be able to back up and make a different decision, especially now at kind of the 30-second mark. It's Spherical. Gunned down right as they peek that corner. It's going to be the Viper's pit on point, so things just went from bad to worse here for Marquette University, going on, able to gun down Babylon in the Viper's pit. Ratify just spraying through the smoke, seeing if they can get a quick pick. They don't check the corner quite as much as they should be. Lelk was there, ready to shoot. Well, he does get one pick. Lelk peeking, but they've only got 5 health. A stray errand bullet will be all that it takes to take them down. So, Saucy opting instead for the save.
Yeah, smart choice there. Can't do much. You've taken down one of them, and in a bit of a 1v2 here against the Viper out, there's nothing much you can do. Marquette University now going to be going down yet another round here. You know, this was really well played by Delaware. You know, they had me thinking that they're going to be rotating towards B, but they just, you know, walked right towards the A side, no fear in their hearts, and pushed right through.
Yeah, tremendously well played, and I mean as well. Something that I liked too from Delaware is even after getting that pick onto Rice, they didn't. They still took their time, right? They recognized, hey, we've got a 1-player advantage, but we don't want to blow this, right? They took it patient, they took it slow, and they were rewarded for their efforts, just making sure they had map control the entire time they were pushing in.
And you know, Rice dying early did affect Marquette University's positions as well. We saw a presence more towards B. In order to counter for that, but as of right now, heading into the next round here, 10th round. Let's see what Delaware has to offer this time. We got Ether trying to push in. Does have the ults to work with. It's gonna be playing a little patient game here. I'm not sure why that slow orb seems to be the one that is from a teammate. Unfortunately for them, Delaware is still around to take towards the A side. We got 3 already in. Nautical in a pretty great position to take down some people. So as they push in, Kraedix, Ether is gonna be the one finding Rice again. Goes down early. Ether towards Veranda. We got 3 players of Marquette University trying to take this side back, but all of them are peeking one by one, and this is not gonna help.
No, it's certainly not. Just out of Gratify, that's not gonna be enough to get the job done. And a big thing that I think is really helping University of Delaware here as well is just recognizing that Rice is probably one of the biggest threats coming out from Marquette University, right? I mean, we highlighted before just how good they've been recently in the tournament here, but in addition, simply because of the fact that they're on the KO, right? They haven't had a chance to use their ultimate, I don't think, this entire game yet, right? And it certainly could have been very, very useful, but they just haven't been able to stay alive long enough.
You know, I'm always wondering what happens to the initial resistance over at side. I mean, I know they're trying to play for the retake here, but we've all seen how that goes, so right. I would want them to switch it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting because last round they left just 1 player defending on A site, 2 in mid, 2 at B, when B historically just has not been approached here by Delaware, but Rice does connect for an early pick. Here's for Delaware. Definitely the hardest things have been for them recently. Either playing it patient. It's going to be a push onto Rice. The knife does land, so things have been equalized now. A lot of side control now being taken by Aether. As soon as that wall goes down, though, things are going to get a little dicier. Aether, of course, backing up because of that. Do have a 1-player advantage now, though, too. If they're considering the plan here, of course, the moment they put it down, somebody is going to peek. Ether there to respond in case that does happen. Saucy going to be peeking around this corner relatively soon as well.
30 seconds left.
Man, Lurk's flanks have always been so painful for Marquette University to handle. And every single time he goes out on the flanks, he finds somebody. And Marquette University now in a bit of a 4v4 situation as a revive does come in from the Sage. Ether. 3 knives, more than enough to find multiple players here. Delaware do have the spike down, the time's ticking, and Marquette University, they don't have a lot of utility to work with. A bit of a flawless game here looks to be the case for Delaware. 285 with the ult in hand is not able to do much damage. Ether, oh my god, Saucy, I can't believe he didn't find him there. Ether, he's just peeking left and right. He finds kills. He's dropping people like flies, and after the dust settles, it's Babytron and Ether in a 1v1. The spike time's going down.
Yeah.
And Ether, 30 health to his name, takes down Babytron, taking the 10th round win. Rather, I believe the 9th.
Yeah, I mean, even if Ether doesn't get that final pick, at that point, there was just no time to defuse the spike, right? So that round was going to Delaware, I think, after a certain point. And this is now getting very, very dire for Marquette University. I mean, outside of those couple of rounds, they just have not been able to put a crack in the armor of University of Delaware. And it's not even like there's necessarily been a lot of close rounds either. That last one was, sure, but for the most part, University of Delaware is winning these convincingly, Flater.
Absolutely. I mean, 9-2 scoreline is pretty convincing for me, Chaco.
Yeah.
And looking at yet another split player coming in from Delaware, you know, they're not getting cocky at all. They're all still playing a very patient game as we see them heading towards B site again. Proetify doesn't find anybody, but little does he know, we got the entire force of Delaware pushing towards them. The bullet sound is going to be revealing something as the call is made, the rotation taking place. Saucy, we're on the other side. We got Kuyang and Nautical. Gonna be rotating back towards B here, so it's gonna be a 5-man push towards B side with Ether leading the charge. The smoke goes. Greatify almost taken down here. Survives for just a little while longer. The Viper Wall. It's gonna be finding them the spike plant as well, and Delaware are now in a post-plant situation.
Spike, it doesn't actually, I think, quite go down. They thought about it, but unable to get it, especially after that pick. It came through. 30 seconds left to go, so they're going to have to move relatively quickly here. And now we've got the null command being used by Rice as well. It's going to make things very difficult. They do go down, but the opportunity is there for the res. Capster starting to claw back here. 15 seconds left to go, though. They're going to have to go for kills here. I don't think a spike plant is happening. One player remaining for either squad. They're going to go for the plant. They have to get it in the last moment. It is down. Might have been a little bit of a misplay by the Sage, but Spherical will save it in the end and give Marquette University a much needed round.
A much needed round indeed, a much needed final round to bring in the curse. That is, if it exists here at Marquette University, sitting at 3-9. You needed that round, of course, here, Marquette, and getting it is the best opportunity for you to try to start making this comeback. 6-round deficit is a bit of a hard call, especially against a team like Delaware, but the tides have turned, the tables have switched. You're now on the offense. You can bring in all the crazy strats you want. This is now your comeback. It is now the chance for you to make something out of it.
It certainly is, and I talked a little bit at the beginning of this match about how it really appeared like both teams wanted to make the first half of this game at least theirs convincingly, and that has been done by Delaware. And I think a lot of it does come back. It does come down to the composition, but having a double initiator here is going to be pretty good as well. A lot of information gain and a lot of ability to just push onto points. So I'm anticipating a lot of 5-player pushes, full pushes onto a single site coming out here from Marquette University. Moment though, default push. Nautical does take down Croatify, so Marquette University reconsidering the push. Making themselves known on A, they have brought a couple of defenders that direction.
A pistol round win is absolutely crucial here for Marquette, and this all starts from finding a kill on either of the sides. If it's either going to be Goyang or Ether, but it seems like, Marquette University have decided to go all out towards B side here with Spherical getting that wall down. Spike is going to be there. Saucy is going to be the one to put it down, and Delaware are now looking for the retake.
Aged about half health as well. They're going to have to play this pretty safe for Delaware. All of them kind of clustered around this building on B side. We do have the wall coming back up. Beautiful shot coming out from Rise Ella Babylon. Picks up another as well. Now 4v3 here, but the DP is coming in. The wall is absolutely massive. They're trying to knife through it, but the body block is there. They get the kills, but Spike is defused.
And with that, that is a double-digit scoreline for the University of Delaware. Guns in their hand, and even after that spike down, you cannot compete with Spectres in full shield. It's going to be really hard for Marquette University to take this one.
It really is, and that is putting University of Delaware very close to game point, right? We're 3 rounds that they need to win, right? Versus what? 10? Yeah, 10 for Marquette University. This is a tall ask. They're gonna make a very quick push though on to A side. Gonna be punished for it almost immediately. Rice comes out with a pick onto Ether, so that definitely makes things a lot easier, but that only is going to last for so long. A couple of picks coming in again for the defense. Now it's just gonna be up to Spherical to see if they can make something happen here, and unfortunately for them, oh no, they will be able to cross over. Not quite get the spike yet. It is still a little out of range. Oh, I see. Oh, it's on that high ground there. This is almost impossible here for Spherical.
Yeah, not much you can do here. Spherical does find one, and the spray, if you were lucky enough, could have found 2, even then, ending him up in a 1v1. But that's not the way the cookie crumbled here. Marquette University in that 1v3 could not take the round back into their own hand. It's going to be Delaware hitting 11, only 2 rounds away from taking game 1.
Tough position indeed for Marquette.
Anyone have funds to spare?
A whole lot being purchased on either side here. We're actually getting a bit of a force coming out, it appears, from Marquette University. I think recognizing the dire straits that they are in, they cannot afford to lose another round here later. Ooh.
Absolutely not. No. Ether does put in sometimes to Saucy, and Saucy is like, why am I even here? I should just rotate. You know, we see the Jet here. Maybe I should try my luck over at the other side. Maybe help my boy Sage and KO out Rice. You know, he's trying to pick towards B, so Spike is ready to move. On the other side here, we got I love Baby John. Oh, Rice. Looking at him, the Sheriff doesn't work out. Lil takes him down. Over at A side, it's a bit of a fest as well. We got Aether taking down Creatify, leaving Marquette University in a 2v5. Aether finds yet another. Wow. And it's gonna be looking like a 12-3. Oh, that's a really good shot from Babytron, but is it gonna be enough? No, it isn't. Spherical taken down immediately, leaving Babytron in a 1v5, facing Nautical over at mid. Spectre in hand, could find him with his pants down, which he does. But a 4v1 here does seem highly unlikely to go in favor of Marquette. See, Babytron pushing in towards mid, guns blazing. Goyangi puts him down to the ground, and Delaware are now sitting at a 12-3 scoreline with only 1 round away from taking game 1.
And especially considering there was, well, take that back. I guess Marquette University actually not much of a force last time. They are going to have practically all rifles here. We do have the Bulldog coming in from Saucy, but honestly, Bulldog not to be messed with. I think that is an underrated gun, personally. But certainly things are looking really, really good here for University of Delaware. I especially like that Nautical is about to get the Hunter's Fury online, which can be used to prevent a spike plan and to give a little bit of time for the rest of the team to rotate over if they need to do that. But already starting out in a really nice way is University of Delaware. 2 picks right off the bat. It's going to take a heroic effort. Marquette University to come back into this. Rice is sneaking up, not going to be able to get where they want to go. Yangi peeks around that corner, finds the kill. Now 5v2.
5v2, Spike right under their noses. Let's see what Marquette University does with that. Babytron pushing in. He finds Lelk almost immediately, leaving Marquette University now in a bit of a better position as they try to take towards B. Goyangi, you know, he's just lurking around, needs to make sure every single angle is cleared before he turns his eye towards the kitchen. And Marquette University, they're still running out of time, so they gotta make a move and they gotta make it quick.
They do. 30-some seconds left on the clock here. Both of them kind of caught in kitchen, honestly. They get wind of where they're going to be, and Kevster does just that. Things could be very difficult indeed. Shots fired, nobody picked, though, at the moment. 20 seconds left to go. Just about the only way this is ending well for Marquette is if they kill everybody. Go Yangi does go down, so now 3v2, 15 seconds left to go. It's just going to be Saucy going for the plant. Seeing they can get that out before anybody peeks, but as they try to turn and run away and find a defensive position, they do go down. Delaware goes up 1-0 in this best of 3.
1-0. Delaware taking the first map in a bit of a dominating fashion, 13-3 being the scoreline. And, it all started in that first half with, we got a 2-0. We see Delaware taking 2 rounds, and then Marquette University, they did have some flashes of brilliance as they brought the scoreline up to 3-3. But after that, it was a bit of a downfall as we saw University of Delaware just riding the high tide and taking the game in a 13-3 fashion.
Yeah, great play coming out from Delaware. Marquette University, they got a lot of ground to make up, but it will be a new map, so hopefully they can shake off this loss, pick themselves back up, come back with a fury, with a vengeance as we head to Lotus next. But for the moment, we're going to throw to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. We are back. If you are just joining us, Delaware Esports took Icebox in convincing fashion. We are headed to Lotus next. So, Marquette University got a lot in front of them that they need to do in makeup, and in particular, it is going to be on Delaware's map pick.
Delaware's map pick. Well, this is gonna be a bit of a difficult task to pull off here. You know, if this were Marquette University, I would be confident that okay, they're playing on Lotus, they know what they're doing. It's still a pretty recent map, so some kind of shenanigans here could help them close out that scoreline. But once again, this is Delaware's pick, right? This is not gonna be easy whatsoever. Marquette University are gonna be playing on the away turf now, as we see Delaware starting us off on the offensive side.
Very different picks being considered here compared to the last map. Of course, it's going to play quite different. But I also just like the opportunity, or like the fact that we're going to get to see, I think, several different agents coming up. Cypher being picked, actually, yeah, I can't wait to see, right? This could be a very interesting pick. It feels to me a lot of times like kind of a boomer bust pick, right? So hopefully, at least for Marquette University, it will be the former.
On a three-sided map like Lotus or Haven, having well in earlier times, Chamber or Cypher now is always crucial, right? Because you need to have all the flanks covered as you possibly can. And Delaware, Lelke, you know he loves his flanks.
Exactly. Saucy as well with this pick. I mean, from the shadows, right? It can get you from one side of the map to the other instantaneously. So I think that's a pretty good pick as well. And seeing the Astra come in as well, all of these make sense, like you said, when we're talking about one of these massive maps with 3 control sites. So one thing as well I want to highlight is Nautical with a breach. Especially since they're going to once again be attacking first, and just such a powerful initiator and can really overwhelm a site, especially if there's only going to be a couple of players there on defense, right? So it to me, in a lot of ways, it kind of makes that situation even worse for the defenders.
Absolutely. And, you know, we did see Nautical being a bit of havoc to Marquette University earlier. Now he's taken Breach. So I can only expect that growing twofold. Or on both sides of the agents, we also got Chambers. So pretty surprising to see them in action. We got Rice picking it up. And I really want to see Rice shine because I know what this man can do, what he's capable of as a player. He's always been the one to carry his team towards victory. But now it's a bit of a tough opponent. And I want to see what he adapts.
Well, going up against Aether is going to be no small task indeed. So, kind of this sniper duel is going to be very exciting, I think, to watch and to take a look at. As well, honestly, Spherical being on, oh my god, why am I blanking on her name?
Neon,
thank you. Being on the Neon, again, just so much map coverage, right? And honestly, I feel like Marquette University is positioned a little bit better in that respect versus University of Delaware, right? And I also think this makes a lot of sense, again, considering that they're starting out on the defense.
And you know, this is the kind of picks, these well thought out picks, right? Every agent being picked because they want to avoid something. We got Chambers for the flank, we got Chamber and Cypher for the flanks, we got Omen for faster rotations, Neon being the same, and Sky of course being the initiator because you want to have something on the offensive side as well. So Marquette University are coming into this one with a pretty good agent lineup. But what I do want to see is what Delaware answers with you know, I'm not sure how I would see this lineup being picked for Lotus, but let's see what Delaware has to offer.
Rice not having a good time right off the bat. To teleport away immediately. These side being pressured pretty heavily, but there is the KJ on the flank on A, and in fact, we see Omen rotating over there, as is Neon, so that could prove to be quite troublesome here for Lelk. Going to be peeking around this corner here momentarily. Looks starting to slowly back up, but Saucy is getting... Oh, actually, they are backing up as well. Rotation has come through for Delaware onto the A site. Getting light, going to briefly blind Kevster, give a little information as well over to Marquette University, giving them more confidence that they have, in fact, done the correct rotation. Kevster takes a few shots at Saucy, who does not go down. Both players still able to stay alive here. Kevster pushing in aggressively. In the meantime, Nautical has found a pick. Just what you're hoping from your breach. They're going to be able to get another as well. One shot, one kill.
30 seconds left.
Farrakle going to counter, make things easier for Marquette to come back on, but in addition, Farrakle down very, very low here, Flater.
Yeah, this is extremely unfortunate here. Marquette University, peeking in at individual positions at a certain point in time, and taking individual duels is not the way to go here, and a 2v1 would not work out in Farrakle's favor. University of Delaware walk right in after that rotation, and you'd think that Marquette University, they have 4 players at site. Certainly this is not going to be an easy task whatsoever, but then Nautical, in an instant, he finds 2 kills.
Yeah, and Nautical leading the way makes a lot of sense here. And it's, I think one of the big stories of the last map was Aether, right? And not being able to get shut down, right? Really just finding value consistently. But honestly, Nautical, I think, is doing exactly what you want to see out of your breach, right? Going in, causing havoc, getting kills already. And that's even before they get their ultimate online. So this is a great showing initially here from Delaware. Love putting up very aggressively. Gonna get 2. Huge for University of Delaware. That's gonna open things wide for them. And now we see a very quick rotation over to A site from the attackers. And Killjoy setting up a lot of utility to make sure that they keep their flank covered.
And it's one of those cases, once again, Marquette University going down by 2 players off of a very, very rather simple mistake that you would not expect from such high-ranking players. You gotta be careful in second rounds, of course, going up against Spectres in such close angles, not being able to find that counter there, going down by 2 players. Now, playing in this post-plan situation with only pistols in hand, I'm not sure. I see a timeline where they take this one.
Yeah, exactly. Spike is imminently going to go off. There's going to be a trade there, but again, University of Delaware in the driver's seat here. Goyagi able to get the pick, get the final one as well before the spike goes off. Are they going to get the... Oh, no, they don't make it out with their guns.
And, that is huge. That is absolutely huge. Marquette University needed all the kills they could get there, and that's what they have. And looking at the opponent's side, as you can see, there are no guns to work with only Kevster having the Spectre and the others running Deagles and Stingers, respectively, with Marquette University Vandals and, Assault Rifles, Phantoms all the way through. So this is the round where they should be looking to make stuff happen.
Absolutely. It was a very aggressive push coming out again from Delaware. They want to waste no time with this. Just going to try and overwhelm with numbers. I think it is the name of the game here for Delaware, since they know they're coming into this at a gun disadvantage. But now the spike is actually making its way through mid. Potential B side hit, but my money is actually on it going towards C instead. Ether going to be able to find Kek. Miracle does get stunned. Delaware in the driver's seat again, despite not having guns that they needed. Getting light, going out, finds a stun, but they don't necessarily know where. That utility coming out is giving Karatify a lot of information. They know which direction, though, the enemy is coming from. After pokes their head up, it's going to be taken out. Karatify looking for another, but now it's a 1v3. They've gotten some work done, but not looking like enough at the moment. I believe Karatify is just going to... No, they're actually looking for an exit pick. They do find Ether. That is good, too. They're doing some significant damage here to University of Delaware's economy, even though they aren't going to take the round. But crucially, they do save. They do hang on to one rifle.
Ether has been wonderful on the offensive side. First of all, that they're going up against assault rifles. You decide to go towards B. How do you peek those angles? With the Spectres? No. With the Ghost? No. With the Headhunter? Yes, absolutely. And he hunts 2 heads right over at B side. After that, 5v3. Spectres in close angle sights, you can kiss the round goodbye. Marquette University now going down by 3. Delaware playing such an amazing game, and Marquette University trying their level best to read these plays, but the factor of unpredictability here coming in from Delaware has been very surprising.
And I think that that unpredictability as well is just enhanced too by this composition that they're running, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having the Astra, who can affect pretty much anywhere on the map, as well as the Breach, which we keep coming back to, and honestly even the Raze, right? That's another very chaotic agent pick too. So it's definitely working well to their advantages. We see a very quick push onto the C side. Only going to be 2 defenders over there. So site control firmly in the hands of Delaware at the moment. Spike is going to be planted, but Goyangi does go down. 2-player advantage here. Make it but 0-player advantage as Nautical showing up again. Just absolutely huge in the kill feed. Delaware, though, still down by 1, but a lot of damage has been done. Many of the members of Marquette, speaking of which, is just go Ratify and 10 HP. 2v1. Spike is
he's already peeking, but he's... Oh, wow. Good play there. Nautical playing a safe game, takes the flash out, and no flashes to work with. 8 seconds. Creatify, you gotta be patient with this play, but he decides, the guns has been shown, but he survives for just a little while longer. The splash is here. The timing, is it perfect? It almost is. The spray doesn't connect. Hitting that spike once, but Nautical's Molly is gonna be saying goodbye. Unfortunate for Creatify there. He couldn't have done anything else. That flash needed to be it. Could not connect all the way through. Delaware take their 4th round win.
Yeah, and Delaware is just cruising at this point, right? They, I think they've really, they figured things out, right? They're just continuing this momentum that they built up on Icebox, and honestly showing no signs of slowing down. Unfortunately, as well for Marquette, this isn't even going to be a full buy, right? And looking at full shields, full rifles, 3 ultimates coming online, Marquette University is going to have to play this very, very well. If they're hoping to come back here. And this is honestly a must-win round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going down 5 rounds against Delaware, but no money as well, and make it 6 then, it's gonna be a hard ask whatsoever. Kevster is the first one pushing in, and he has been absolutely demolished with abilities. Spherical will be taking down Goyang as Kevster back in a defensive position. In with the peek with Phantom. Does he find the first one? Spherical shoulder peeks in. The trade comes in from Ether. Lelk finds another, and Creatify there is found 2, leading us into a 1v2. The dust has settled, but Lelk's position is going to be revealed soon enough. Has 150 else to work with. What does he do? Has been always good with the flanks. What does he do when facing the 2 players head on? The straight peak almost finds one, but AKEK is there to take him down, and Marquette University find their very 1st round win.
That was huge for Marquette University. Delaware's still going to be in a pretty good position, though, economically. Still enough to get, I believe, honestly, 3 rifles here at this point, considering just how much Nautical has. Yep, and in fact, we do see the buy coming through for Yelk as well. So... And again, honestly, the economy not great for Marquette University. Yes, they took that round win, but it's the first one they've gotten, so they're still going to have to be content with some half shields.
You want to play? Let's play.
Absolutely, but still a 3-round lead to comfortably set on. Rise this time in a pretty aggressive position. Let's see what he does with it here. It needs to pull out something great. The peek comes in from Lel, taken down by Rice. He finds the cover, and Delaware have been revealed.
They have down one of their main players. Goyangi going to equalize, though. I think somebody actually pushing up very aggressively from A site. Though holding that long angle there. Make things difficult for them, as they do decide this is the direction they want to go. They want to push. Flash is going to come in, so now Marquette University, aware of the direction Delaware has decided to come from. They've pretty much abandoned rest of the map. Although Seaside now completely open. Chamber is over there. Delaware might want to consider that rotation.
That they do, and it seems like they're ready to go for it. Especially, and it seems like it's gonna be from the CT side. Spawn Ether pushing in through with a tour de force in his hand. Is he gonna be finding somebody? Not at the moment. Okay, Ether, I see it. Juggle, I see it now. An aggressive push coming in from Ether, giving all the space that his team needs to push in towards C side. And as the spike goes down, Ethers has his crosshairs stuck towards CT.
They do. Great defensive positioning taken up by Delaware as well. See at least one player walking into these side lanes here soon from Aether. Oh no, that is a shot you cannot miss. Actually, apparently you can. If you're Aether, apparently you can miss that shot and come away with 2 kills. Either way, and make it a third. Delaware gets back on track.
So I have a question.
Yeah, what's that?
You know, when I'm trying to be this confident in the game, I end up in a position like Kevster, down at the bottom.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But it seems like Ether, you know, he's telling us a bit of a different story.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, honestly, I'm a controller main, right? Like, I do not have the aim. I think that is really necessary for like these higher levels in Valorant. So I just stay content with trying to get map control, right? Using utility, things like that. So I feel you. I'm definitely not the person going in and getting the lion's share of the kills. That is for a certain. It'd be a very aggressive push here from Delaware. They are just taking forcefully everything here from Marquette University. In fact, we're seeing we're seeing Marquette University be content to kind of give up the site. They're gonna play for post plant here later.
That they do, and of course, we've already seen what Nautical can do in this post plant with all the breach abilities that he has in store with him. Marquette University now trying to retake C. What do they do? Where do they push first? Spherical trying to clear out all the closer angles, which he does. And we got an Astra on the offensive side, so even after they manage to clear side, this is gonna be a bit of a problem for Spherical as he still manages to take down Koyangi. AKEK finds one with a scout. Kevstar finds his second kill of the game. And just like that, Marquette University down to their last player. Kevstar is gonna be cleaning him up as well. And it's a great round for Kevster. He's found his first 3 kills of the game.
Right? All we had to do was point it out. All we had to do was highlight it, and there you go. Taking care of it. So now it's Saucy's turn, I guess, right? Saucy having a little bit of a tough time. And that's, typically me right there. Although I'm not an Omen main. I don't actually play a whole lot of Omen either. But more to the point at hand, a lot of rifles in hand for Delaware, a huge economical advantage. Once again, Marquette University, I think, finds themselves in this must-win situation later.
Must-win situation indeed. Must-win situation indeed, rather. We got Ether trying to push in towards A side with the spike coming in from Astra. This is not something that we normally see from Delaware. They're playing for the bait. We see 3 of the players pushing in towards C side, and judging by Marquette University's previous patterns, they think, this is going to be a C side push, but it's not. Ether, he's not the only one here. Spherical, it's going to be keeping him at bay, and he's playing a pretty smart game here, not trying to take any of the early duels. Marquette University still in pretty good positions to try and stop whatever or wherever this push decides to go through.
Interesting rotations coming out from both squads. Actually looked for a moment both teams were actually considering pushing over to C. But then decided no, we're gonna make this an A site hit. Almost everybody over there at the moment. Saucy gets their first kill. There we go. All right, taking care of that. University of Delaware down by 2 here, though. Marquette University again, kind of in this must-win situation, starting to come through. But Kevster, I'm gonna let that happen. It's now gonna be down to Nautical, making it a 1v1. Ooh, almost gets the job done. Spherical down to 27 HP, but again, Marquette University does find a way to stay in this later.
That they do. 6-2 being the current scoreline. Ain't no way they're out of this game yet. We see Creatify doing a really good job. Saucy found his first kill as well. And, you know, I have to give props to Spherical for doing this. Exactly what he's doing at the moment. You know, just peeking in, making sure that Ether doesn't have access to the site because he's watching.
Yeah, exactly. And, if you're going to put somebody up against a chamber like that, Neon is certainly not a bad idea, not a bad way to go. Marquette University appears to think something's happening over on A, but only for a moment. Showstopper out now for Kevster. You see if they can find a pick with it. Nothing going to come in, though, it appears. Cloak is traded out. Spike is down. Again, a lot of good side control here from University of Delaware, but in a way, they're also kind of pinned down. I like the fact that Astra right now is a little bit on the flank, making sure that if they do get pinned down, somebody is going to have an opportunity to take care of matters if they get out of hand. AKEK be deleted. Now it's just going to be up to Saucy 4v1. Shots aren't going to be there this time around, so Delaware... Now they have secured themselves a winning half.
Winning half and all the momentum that you need on the field here. Delaware, you know, they are up by 5 in this game, and it seems like with the economy conditions from Marquette University, it could just be 8-2 as the timeout does come in from the defender's side, giving them time to think as to how you can use all those 4 ults to close in the gap.
Right, and What's interesting as well is you've got 2 ultimates that are very kind of utility oriented, right? Spherical really the only one with a significant amount of killing power. Even Croatify, right, with the Seekers, it's just getting you information, which is great, which is very, very important, but you do still have to secure the kill. So I'm anticipating Spherical going to be using their ultimate, maybe as well Croatify. Those would be the 2 that I would kind of bank on using if I were Marquette University, and saving Saucy and AKEK's ultimates for more niche situations.
Yeah, this timeout really needs to come through for Marquette University here. Like you said, going down against a huge lead, going down in a huge deficit against University of Delaware is not ideal. And Delaware, Marquette, they really need to pull up their socks. Even in this eco round, taking down the economy is all that matters.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And yep, here we do go. But Spherical gun down immediately. That is absolutely devastating for Marquette. That was honestly probably your biggest win condition for Marquette University. So maybe Spherical playing a little bit overzealous right there, right? Perhaps just needed to wait for a little bit more information to come out before they make a big guns blazing play like that. Because now Spike will be planted and it's going to be on B site. So honestly, I think this is an opportune moment to use that, because all this information gathering ultimate's not necessarily that useful in this situation. 4v3 at the moment, though, in favor of Delaware.
Oh my god, it's a bit of a scout action here. Croatify finds one Lelk. That's fine one, but it's not going to be enough. Nautical's there to trade him out, leaving Marquette University in a bit of a 1v2.
Ooh.
The suppression comes in. Ether takes his head off, and 8-2 is the now scoreline.
Deja vu all over again, Flater. University of Delaware, rather Marquette University, just does not seem... they needed to make a lot of changes coming into this map. You know, certainly we see a lot of changes in the agent selection, right? But the style of play, I don't think, has really adapted to what University of Delaware is doing at this point. And we're seeing the results of University of Delaware. They're still in their comfort zone, right? They haven't been pushed out of that at all by Marquette yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Delaware, you know, they're having a blast. The first few rounds in the first game were the only ones where we saw Delaware struggle for just a little bit, but after that, they pulled into high gear and they have been riding the high tide ever since.
A little bit's on the side of Delaware there. So again, Marquette University, at least with that advantage in this round. Ratify getting taken out is a big blow again to Marquette University. They don't have those seekers again, which I honestly feel like they should be using these more proactively at this point later, right? Because it's clear that University of Delaware is winning a lot of these initial duels. So you can give yourself an advantage going into some of those. You certainly want to take it, especially at a time like this. But 4v3, certainly not over yet. Like that cyber cage, you get a little bit of information. Saucy finding a pick as well, certainly going to make things easier. That's going to be a counter pick. Just one player left now. Rays, Kepster going to have to do the rest, but fortunately for them, now 1v1, but oh. Beautiful round there from Marquette, and Saucy, the hero this time around.
Oh, that could have gone either way. Saucy, was down to his 50 health here. One well-placed sheriff shot could have been more than enough, but the Marquette University, you take what you can get.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely do, right? And Valorant, very much a game of momentum. I talked about that a little bit in the last game, but honestly, I think it's pretty relevant to bring up at the moment because, the momentum is kind of built into the economy, right? It's not only is it a mental thing, but it's actually a part of the mechanic of this game. So still, Marquette University going to have to do some more work because University of Delaware is still with all rifles and full shields.
Oh my god, Kepster off through the wall finds Rice.
Jeez.
Rice isn't going to be happy about that one. Absolutely not. But this is what they needed. Delaware, in order to extend that lead here in the last round, the first half, what do you do?
Profit with the wall bang. Bring out Kevster. Ooh, that's a pretty greedy pick there from Louth. They can pay for it. Spike will be planted 2v2 at this point. But Marquette University, you're looking at the top two fraggers here for University of Delaware. Keck and Safiriful really going to have to rise to the occasion here. And they're going to have to start moving in relatively quickly because there's not a whole lot of time yet. Keck does get a peek. Ether holding that corner. Peeked a little too slow, Safirical. Bit of utility going out, Keck. Tries to push onto the site. Going to be stopped just a bit. Oh my gosh. And the spray through the cyber cage.
Switching sides.
Switching sides, we got Marquette University now on the offensive side, but University of Delaware will have to defend the three gigantic sites of Lourdes.
And this, I think, is actually where Marquette University's composition is going to have a little bit more advantage, right? Just given how quickly they can change sides, they can swap to a different site. It could be really powerful, right? I think they need to try and just confuse University of Delaware as much as they possibly can. That way, they're giving themselves an advantage in some of these engagements, right? A player advantage, specifically.
Very well. I mean, what kind of strategies are you expecting here from the Delaware side on the offense, on the defense now?
That's an interesting question, actually, because again, like this both compositions really kind of tuned for the attacking side, right? So I think Nautical is certainly going to still be a presence. Oh my gosh, University of Delaware with quite a few kicks right off the bat. Croatify still has to get spiked too, and a beautiful shot from them. Goyangi going down as well. Croatify absolutely popping off here, and now has the spike, which I think was the biggest thing that they needed. Looks like they're just going to opt for A side, given how close they are. They don't want to give too many opportunities for University of Delaware to find them out. They take the plant. Ooh, they bait them off site, but Lelk a little bit quicker on the draw. However, I honestly really liked how Croatify played that.
Yeah, I mean, the fake was the right idea, but with a bit of a wild peak there, rather Nautical was there to put him down to the ground, leaving Delaware at a 10-3 scoreline, 3 rounds away from taking this game as well as the best of 3 series.
Not any room for error left to Marquette University as this round starts. Again, they're at a disadvantage here as far as the economy, so looking to do just a very quick, very aggressive push onto one side and see if they can ride the numbers advantage to a win here, but Aether doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Kevster stopping Hero Adify again, who was the hero in that last round.
Saucy, frenzy in hand, or should I say the smaller Vandal in hand. The flash comes in, and unfortunately Nautical is going to be the one to put him down to the ground, leaving Marquette University in a bit of a 1v5. A near flawless victory does seem to be under order. Kevster is going to be the first one to push. Spectre in his hands, going to take down the Stinger and get the 11th round victory here.
That was really, really tough as well for ACAC to be able to do anything. I mean, having the spike go down essentially on B site, and Cypher being the only player left who's going to be the person on the flank, right? They're going to be the person who is looking for those off-angle kills. Not a whole lot they could do there. But again, it leaves them in a very dire situation. 2 rounds is the buffer that they have here today, Flater. 1 round, really.
Yeah, to be fair, 1 round, of course, because guns, economy, all the factors are the ones that need to be considered into play here. Delaware on the right track to take this series as well as the game. How flashy do you think they can make it?
Well, I mean, given who they have, honestly, it could be very, very flashy. 2 players down already for Marquette. University of Delaware really want to seal this deal, end this as quick as they can. Saucy, last player left. Only way they're getting out of this is a 1v5. That is certainly a way to start it, but they know they're going to be just peaked by everybody all at once. That is what happens. Game point, match point here for University of Delaware.
1 round away from victory. And, it was not just Ether this time around. It was Nautical, Kevster, Lurk, everybody with a combined effort of getting the control of sites as and when they needed to.
You know what's been interesting, I think, about this map in particular, Flater, is honestly, the ultimates haven't really come into play in a really substantial way, I don't think. It's mostly been won out by, I think, map control and just the guns, right? The gun advantage. So it's just very interesting to see, especially on a map as big as this.
Oh, look. Unfortunate.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
just 2
it's a bit of a clean sweep here.
Ooh, still an opportunity for Marquette to come back. Only a 1-player advantage for Delaware, but they are on the hunt. They are not relenting at all. They're trying to force the issue. Now we see a little bit of a moment of reprieve, a moment to breathe here. Saucy, though, this is a tough position for them to be in. There's too many ankles for them to kind of control right there, and fortunately for them, University of Delaware not anywhere close to them at this point. Map has been completely flipped on its head. Nautical gonna make it a 1 player left that they have to take down. Saucy, everything is riding on them.
30 seconds.
Fortunately for them, they do still have the spike. Crucially, they do not have from the shadows, which could be very, very useful here.
They don't have the time either.
They've got to pick a site. Yeah, they've got to pick a site, and they've got to get this plant. They're going to have to sprint over towards A in order to make it happen, which they will do. Nautical aware of it, though. I'm going to be there before it's... Oh, don't go up that rope. Don't go up that rope, Saucy. And that will be the game. Set and match. University of Delaware cruising to a victory over Marquette today.
Yeah, 13-3, the exact same scoreline that we saw in game number 1. And, after that 3-round win coming in from Marquette, there was not much going on in this game. We got Delaware taking game after game, every single time coming in with different strategies to take and defend sites. And overall, we got a winner here in the very first best of 3 series here in Valorant. Marquette University are going to be going down to Delaware, who've taken this one in a 2-0 fashion. But Juggle, we still got plenty of Valorant to play. I believe we're going to be back very soon with an interview, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
This is it. The final match, the final map, Icebox, is where everything is going to be determined and who is going to win out in this rematch. University of Cincinnati or University of Connecticut.
Yeah, we're already seeing so much more than we saw last week. Last week, Cincinnati didn't do bad, but they didn't exactly do this good. Now taking it to the map 3, performing so well on this attack, almost finding the comeback on Ascent. You know, my main concern with that, after all of that intensity, is how do you keep the mental up going into this map 3? You know, almost having the comeback, having the win so close, and then just not being able to finalize it.
I don't know. Regardless, though, both of these teams have managed to find that, and they're going to make it work for them. Come hell or high water, they are going to do it. Now, here's the interesting thing. Connecticut, switching back and forth, K-Pin. If you're going to go onto Icebox, you need a Sage.
You need a Sage.
100%. You need a Sage. There's no two ways about it. Sage is a must pick. So that way you can actually execute, not even just onto B side, but it makes getting onto A side just that little bit more easier to defend yourself, to actually be able to plant the spike. You need Sage. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, I mean, even for
Select your agent.
you know, I think for both sites, honestly, you really need a Sage. K-Pin? K-Pin? You good there, bud?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. You know when they do that, they're just like, haha, the casters are gonna be so weirded out. And it's like, yeah, we are. It makes us scared.
Listen, you see the neon, you see the Yori, you're like, ah, ha, ha, and then you see the neon, and you're like, ah, ha, ha, and then, yeah,
That's
it's right back over.
almost a thing that could actually happen.
Yeah, that's why we're like, huh, maybe? Okay. But this is something typical that we're seeing coming out of the VCTs right now. This is the lineup, this is the composition that has been, it just does so much, right? Viper Walls gives you the site execution onto B, cuts out those long sight lines and makes things a little bit more claustrophobic. And of course, the Sage Wall makes B site takeable, basically, for the attackers.
Yeah. I mean, B is just, you're not getting on it without Sage. If you have the Sage, you know, you can plant so much more aggressively, which I think A site's really good for retake. So if you can have an aggressive plant, makes your life considerably easier. You know, rather than trying to plant it in default or a super safe spot where you just get ran on and there's not a great way to defend it. You know, at least if you plant out, it forces the defending team to be super aggressive, trying to find that defuse. Now, Wall is going up, not to get onto Snipe, but to find a nice little path through mid. And the wraparound pinch, Sunito, can you deal with it? They can run away pretty okay and try to take the KJ one-on-one instead, but that doesn't work out well for him either.
Yeah, it's not going to work out for Sunito either. Sincerely was able to get a kill onto Timothy before being traded out. Now picks are happening back and forth. Spike has been planted, but now Waldy inside of this high ground position. Here we go. What do you say, Loki? A wall goes up, and now you're able to be just a little bit more defended while trying to get the spike planted. But you really got to watch out for it. Oh, no way. It's on top of the wall, so you're able to get the defuse safe.
So brutal. Either way, Pistol is going to end up doing it, forcing them through that yellow, that real aggressive angle. And there's not really any way to get out of that angle once you've committed to it. And so as a result, almost everyone on the team comes up with a kill other than Sunito, who's got stolen by Dummy. And Pistol round continues to be, I think, a little bit Cincinnati-sided.
Indeed so. Cincinnati do love these pistol rounds, and a much better defense than I think what we've been seeing from them so far. This is actually going to work out decently well for them. A possible another conversion now that they have Spectres in their hands. Kind of like what we saw, though. It was just really good, clean site execute to be able to get back on there. Sunito to move forward once again. They are, once again, having that aggressiveness because they know they have that gun advantage. And Cincinnati has finally been able to catch on to that with UConn. It's working out perfectly for them. Still, though, Vulcan doesn't need no stinking Spectres or anything. They just need a handy ghost and a headshot. And a dream. And those dreams are coming true.
Oh!
Well, dreams are falling apart now.
Hey, you know, the thing about dreams is at some point, you gotta wake up. Vulcan there not being able to stay in that dream for very long. Staying here on a bit of an angle. Sincerely gonna put him down as they've got a great little pinch. And that's gonna be the go signal as Cincinnati has the bomb. So Husky's got to do something to try to get out of this one. K-Pin, they pick up a Spectre, looking on the angle, not gonna work out.
2-0 now. Cincinnati finding their confidence once more. It was getting very close there on Ascent to them being able to execute. It was just really unfortunate timing, I think, that UConn had on them. So UConn, though, with guns in hand, possibility to be able to turn things right back around. And yeah, you had to wonder and you had to think to yourself, how's this going to go for them? How can they make this work? It's going to be another A-side execute. Possibly a potential to be a lot better this time around.
Aggressive positioning from Connecticut. They're fourth, as I was from Cincinnati. They pretty quickly try to get back out, but not before Vulcan can get a good shot on them. Waldy still hanging out in mid on this Sage. If Timothy's not careful, that might just put him right into gunfire. Instead, Dolly picks it up. Good kill there. K-Pin looking to see if they can't get through this wall that Waldy set up, but Waldy continues with this good position and good work with it. Throwing in a lot of damage. It's a 3v3. Make that a 2v3 as two fall on the side of Cincinnati. Dummy looking to do a little bit more damage. If they get another kill, this would be a really good kind of bonus round. Sunito is not able to do it. It's just Dummy looking for that little bit of an extra touch. On the ropes. I'm amazed they haven't been shot already. No way. No way.
What the heck? The rope-a-dope on top? We're going to have lineups here. You're going to have to make sure that Stan gets taken out. There it is. The snake bite's going to come in. They're looking for an opportunity to maybe try to be able to do this, but really at that point, Dummy did, I think, more than what was asked of them. So that's a good way to end the round.
I mean, that's a good bonus. That's just straight up a good bonus. Kill 4, make life very, very hard. Trade the round win for the long-term economy. And Vulcan, as a result of how good that bonus was, already has an operator in their hands. And no one from Huskies can buy even off a win. Good lord.
This is not, that's not ideal for Connecticut for sure. This is a rough situation for them to be in. Now Vulcan too on top of this has an operator. And so the defense has just gotten that much stronger. Nami really is gonna have to make sure they land the headshot that they need. Not gonna be able to though. Loki, I think a Marshall just a little bit weaker than the operator.
That's yeah, bit ambitious from the Huskies right there. I mean, hey, ambition's a good thing, you know, gotta push the limits, just not sure you want to push the limits against an operator. Now, one down, trying to find a little bit more. Sincerely's got a good angle. I can't see. Kind of wormed past him. Do they have the wraparound now? Yep, they sure do. Vandal in their hand. 4v4 now. And weapon advantage just decreases that little bit more. Viper wall up. See if they can get to sight in time. Wall gonna go down, but it's not the perfect wall that you want to see.
Spike planted.
Yeah,
And-
Sunita's just firing through. Yeah, hoping maybe to be able to break something, get a kill there. But the way that K-Pin was set up, it was going to be them just perfectly fine. I can't see. Chilling up right next to Yellow. Maybe be able to make a swing, maybe to be able to get a kill here. But UConn, even without the gun advantage in their favor, is actually still able to get kills. And they're just getting one after another. Finally, Stan's reign of terror has been ended by Vulcan, and they're just going to pop the knives, walk over to right into I Can't See, who was looking at a box the entire time. Now it's K-Pin. They gotta stall out for as long as they can. Dummy's waiting. Dummy's not looking at the right place. There we go.
Oh, great.
Do they have time?
play. They got it.
Yeah, they got time. Yeah, they got it.
Barely. Oh, barely. Oh, barely. Ooh, that's brutal right there for K-Pin. Had they stalled it out 6 milliseconds more, that would be a 2v2 round right now with rifles across the board off of a win they could buy up. Sadly, not going to be the case for the Huskies, and Cincinnati continues to do... Actually, no, never mind, does not continue to do good on attack. They're on defense right now. I saw the scoreboard and I was like, oh, Cincinnati's winning, they must be on the attacking side. Completely forgetting the 4 rounds that we just watched because, you know, they've been struggling on defense so much. Right now they're doing such a good job though. Timothy going very ambitious. Vulcan also being very ambitious. But that time it's getting rewarded for it. Sincerely off by themselves in a 1v3. Actually,
What do you
playing
do?
it really
My name is Ryan Vu. My name is Justin Rolone.
My name is Justin Garcia Quinones.
My name is Chenji.
My name is Brian Patientis.
My name is Raymond Asencow.
My name is Jasmine.
My name is Maya DeLong.
I'm Mark Etienne.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. John's.
My team is great, honestly. Like I said, been working with them for like 3 years now. We've had lots of players come and go, but for the most part, we've had like the same players working with us the whole time. And they're just a great group of people. They're fun to hang out with, and they just put all of their energy into this, and they're very passionate about it, and that's what matters.
I think the first year when I started as captain, we placed 7th or 6th. I'm not exactly sure. And then for the past 4 or 3 semesters, we've been 1st or 2nd place. And our progress has really shown over the past 4 years.
St. John's is supporting competitive teams, which I absolutely love. That's part of my dream for esports on campus. As president of the esports club on campus, I just want to bring the opportunities to the people. I just want to make sure that there are events where people can kind of meet up and just be able to truly enjoy the community.
I would say the overall esports, I think it's become a larger community as a whole, and you can meet all kinds of different people, all kinds of different experiences, backgrounds in the esports team. It's not just people who like gaming, it's all kinds of sorts of people, diverse people coming together and playing games.
I hope esports actually blows up to be a prominent figure at St. John's. I want to put in a lot of work. I know a lot of my team has been putting in a lot of work. I hope that we can just take off and make this a bigger thing than we intended it to be.
Esports is competitive gaming. Imagine playing really any video game you ever enjoyed playing, but playing it competitively to the best of your abilities. The Esports Club, though, we're more than just competitive teams. We host gaming for everybody. We just want people to come out, play games, have fun, and then hopefully host a few good teams that might win a few championships for the school.
We are definitely developing and pushing to build and develop that infrastructure that a lot of other clubs already have. Whatever skill level you are, you can come out, have fun, compete, don't compete. We welcome anyone.
There's not really a spot elsewhere for people to just play video games. Our club is definitely like all-inclusive. So if you're like even just a casual gamer that games, an hour a day or, an hour a week, it doesn't really matter. You can come and play and make friends. So that's really what it's all about.
A club like this is meant to bring games out of the dorm room and meet other people, make friends. We do game nights every other Friday night. You'll get an opportunity to play some games you've never played and meet some people you wouldn't meet otherwise. So if you're interested in gaming, come on out to the club and see what it's about.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to EGFC Valorant. Once again, I am joined with J Turbo. We just had Juggle. Unfortunately, he had to switch. He had to set it up with an Overwatch stream over at the Mid-South channel. But hey, we are here still with Valorant, which is, to be fair, I like Valorant a little better than Overwatch. So a little of the Overwatch viewers, just a little heads up for you. But Turbo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. We were supposed to have 3 games. We've only got 2. Second set got canceled, but we only have to worry about the one in front of us. UTK versus St. John's, the number 3 versus the number 6 overall, both teams with 7 wins. So looking across the board, this is a really strong matchup, right? We can see there's this sort of disparity between the top 7, and once you start to drop below that half, the lower half of the standings, where there's a lot of really, really strong teams. We're going to see UTA later, so that should be really, really exciting. But I'm really, really interested just in how St. John's and UTK go. Because last week, St. John's, they struggled. They went up against William & Mary. That's just how it goes sometimes, right? You run up against the number one team in the league and you lose. It be like that sometimes. But UTK, they had a good performance last week, and they're continuing to show that they are a very strong team. I hadn't seen them that much near the top 5 last split, and the more that they've grown, it's really, really exciting to see. I love what they're able to do. You know, Curbs and Bridge, both very, very impactful fraggers in their own right. So this is a very, very talented roster. And I mean, we look at them in the standings, they're only separated by 1 loss. This is, I think, really going to be a tone setter for both of these schools moving forward in the season.
Absolutely. And, we were talking about what series was going to be the closest today, and this seems to be the one running for the first place. Tennessee going up against St. John's University might just be the closest series that we have, best of 3. And I believe if we are looking at map picks, the first map is gonna be none other than, yes, here it is, Haven. Second one going to Ascent, which is St. John's pick, and the decider, which we could most probably reach, is gonna be Fracture.
Yeah, not the standard Icebox Haven Ascent lineup that you might be used to. A lot of teams that are more comfortable with Split have been throwing that into their lineups, but Pearl and Lotus we've seen in general just not very popular. The 2 newest maps, still a lot to figure out in both of those. But Fracture, of course, now feeling kind of old while still being relatively new, is a very tough map. So I think both of these teams want to try and stick to what they know, win this in 2, but as we've already brought up, they're very, very well matched. This is likely going to go to 3 if we were to, predict and put our expectations out there, just with how both teams have really impressive individual players that can step up if you need. They have set pieces. They have a lot of that strength. I think Haven and Ascent are 2 of those maps where that structure, that team play, that coordination are really going to matter, because there's so many options, especially when we look at Haven, the first 3 site map. Every single site, you can approach it a little bit differently, but I'm already starting to think ahead into agents and stuff, and I'm hoping that teams are looking at that breach, maybe still sticking around with Jet as their primary duelist to try and keep those really strong set pieces that can be so tough to play against.
Absolutely. And once again, this is Tennessee's pick, so we might see some crazy shenanigans at the start of this game. Everybody seemed to be putting in a lot of new strategies, especially on 3-sided map, which is a little different than your standard Valorant gameplay. But I believe we are going to be going on a bit of a short break as the players are still just about getting ready, but we'll be back very soon with game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Bring us on. All right, we are back once again. This time, straight to the roster screen. First map, as you guys all remember, is gonna be Haven. And looking at the ranks, Turbo, I have to say, not every day you'd go into this one looking at Radiance.
I mean, it's the top level of collegiate, right? You're bound to see some Radiance. They're starting to just be more and more of those top level players in the collegiate scene, and with more and more structure being added, you see some of these players just ascend from diamond or platinum, and with the right environment get up there, ascendant, immortal, radiant, and it's just, I think, a product of a lot of the support that comes through with programs like St. John's and UTK, creating that community, helping their student athletes really step up, as we are starting to get some lock-ins in the agent select. And St. John's, they're sticking to that sort of breach cypher fade combo that a lot of teams have been leaning towards, but not going for the jet, opting for the raise instead. Recently getting those nerfs to the boombot, I'm not sure how on a map like Haven, where you really do want that little bit of extra time to sneak through those final corners, that nerf could be very, very impactful. If Kenny does lock in the Brimstone, it's definitely an option for Smokes, but I think that Omen in his current state is probably a little bit stronger. Of course, Brimstone still gotta love him. He's got the stim, he's got the molly, everything that you could want in post plants, whereas UTK taking a little longer to lock in, but leaning towards that Astra and Sova as well. So actually a bit of a different approach from both teams, but both of them leaning towards that raise, so really valuing those paint shells and the ability to clear corners.
Absolutely, and like you were talking about, the raise nerf has been a bit of a hit, especially on a map like Haven, where you'd want to make sure that the bot goes all in the distance that it possibly can. What I am surprised about is Tennessee not going for a Cypher pick and instead going for a Killjoy on a map like, well, Haven. Like I said, the three-sided map, you need all the range you can get, but I'm not sure whether KJ is going to be the one to provide that range.
Yeah, I don't hate it, though. The nerfs to KJ that were in the same patch as the raise nerfs, it only dropped the turret HP by 25. The bigger impact is going to be that lockdown, stepping up to 8 from 7. So there's definitely going to need to be a lot more intentioned play about getting those online, really playing towards those ult orbs if possible. But now, as we're getting onto the map, UTK leaning heavily towards this garage setup, and seems that they'll be ready for St. John's attack, as they're already looking at that C site.
A C-side push seems highly likely from St. John's University at the moment. Let's see how they're able to make it happen. But, you know, if you're looking at Tennessee, that is 3 players over at Garage and 1 holding out over at C main, as we see the push finally coming in, the utility being used. Oh, BBMG needs to be careful. The suppressor and the nade is going to be putting in some damage, but just like that, you know, St. John's still playing a patient game now, pushed all the way back as they see the entire force of Tennessee stepping upon them. Siani pushing into Garage. Does he find King? Yes, he does. Oh, wow, what a shot. But then again, you got the push coming in from... Okay, Sunny, you know, he's putting down 2 here. Tennessee are going to be making this rotation all the way towards A side, where St. John's is supposed to be heading.
Oh, and Sunny doing so much work from behind, sets up some defensive utility out by A, watch for if there's any aggressive positioning, and once they realize there's no one pushing out of A, there's really not any presence C from Sunny's lurk up mid. It's free to step into Garage now that all the attention was taken over to C site, and it's a really good read. Already a decent chunk of time taken away as Curbs has to wait for the team. Now they've got some information, they've got some shock darts, there's a couple options to try and make this retake work, and it's starting out strong.
Oh, a straight push coming in from Curbs and BBMG from Haven. Still a bit of a 2v2 going on here. And Knight, you know, still playing a very aggressive game here. You know, being at short, you'd think he's not going to peek again, but that he does. There to support his teammate as Smalls picks down SBL, and the first round goes to St. John's.
Oh, such a good read, and I'm gonna say, it's honestly off the back of King on UTK that rotate was able to happen, because he was able to get the nanoswarm down, prevent all of the utility that was being pumped out by St. John's from really connecting. You know, they had the Astro Smokes, they had the Breach, done, that fault line, doing a lot of work to clear out the fight, and then you can't push through that nanoswarm. There was a lot of presence shown immediately after, and Sunny, as I mentioned earlier, grabs the space, and I think this is already showing that St. John's, they have a good idea on how to play this attacking Cypher, letting him play separately, and on these off angles, using the flanks to their advantage, just letting the teams stick together is, you might see a little bit of contact as an aggressive push mid.
All right, Sunny, Bulldog in hand, can find Bridge through the spam here, which he does. Needs to be careful with the second pick. He is not. SPL takes him down with a quick headshot from the Classic. Over on the other side of the map, we got St. John's University planting down over at C site, while the rotation comes in from the other side here. Knight has already taken down one. The last two players still present. Curbs, Classic in hand. This is the second kill. What a play by him, but I believe that's all he's going to get. King takes down Kenny, leaving St. John's in a 2v2 with Curbs at 100 and his teammate right there with him.
This is already so much damage. Such a successful eco from UTK already. Now they want to try and make this work. It's going to be tough with the health disadvantage, but utility's up, and there's the spray down. Instantly locked up by St. John's, but 3 rifles going down. That is a very big deal. Or 2 rifles, or no, 3, because they only carried over the Spectre.
Wow. You know, I just have to say huge props to Curbs for finding those 2 kills with the Classic. Now heading into the third round here, we got St. John's University finally at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the guns. We got Smalls, Vandal in hand, but over at the other side it is an assault rifle fest all the way through. Vandals and Phantoms all the way through for every single member here. Tennessee now finally looking to start this comeback.
And St. John's are going to have to play off the back of this hero rifle, and they're opting for speed as they know they won't be able to take those longer gunfights and play a slower game. We're already seeing a lot of utility used to lock King out of sight. They know UTK likes to hug that B site, but actually King off the Nano Swarm picks up Sunny, and that's going to be a lot of defensive util taken away.
Ooh, Curbs for the drone. Does he find anybody? No, he doesn't. Bridge is going to be finding that 1 kill from the nade. Smalls, not good enough for the spray there. Bridge takes down 1. Void, on the other hand, finds going to be 2. Curbs take down Knight here. Void could not connect with the Spectre here. And Tennessee is there with a great retake over at B side and finally getting their first round win.
But honestly, if I'm St. John's there with that kind of buy, I'm really happy, right? You have 1 rifle, 1 Spectre, you still take down 3 guns. UTK is not going to be in a great spot. They're not given the opportunity to build up a bank. They'll be able to, put together most of a full buy, or, full armor, some Spectres, at least 2 rifles. But now it's the opposite story where St. John's are the ones who are able to swing that momentum back off of this buy, and I'm just really impressed by their decision-making to take that B site, knowing what their strengths are, and it was that Spectre they had in hand, and it netted a bunch of kills.
Absolutely, but like you said, it's still a pretty good round for St. John's as they were able to bring it down to the last 2 players from the Tennessee side. But look at that, St. John's University now looking to push in towards A main. We got Bridge and Faye leading the charge. Knight taken down by Bridge, as we see some early aggression coming in from Tennessee. Not want to be peeking that same angle twice. Bridge has already done so much damage, finally being taken down by Smalls, as St. John's University might just be looking to make this rotation happen.
And especially with that neural theft being committed, they can take a second, use that information gained, and decide where they're going to go, as they already know BBMG is sitting on site. Pops the smoke, and this makes it a little dicey, but right now, St. John's, they're just boxed out of B site. There's a numbers advantage for UTK, and it's gotten even bigger.
BBMG finding one with that spray, and well, you have to agree that St. John's University are trying their level best to make something happen but so much utility being thrown down upon them. Tennessee has been really conservative with how they're using their utility, but it has been a bit of a power move so far.
And back-to-back rounds, we're seeing the team who won the previous, but it was expensive, get aggressive, take the tempo to their opponents, and completely shift up the type of game that their opponents expected to see. As now, we're going to see St. John's, there's a few seconds left, commit to this plant. They should be able to get it down, but there is a lot of UTK members on the way, and there's still quite a bit to use. But St. John's, they have the orbital strike, and I think that's what they're really going to play for.
All the three players pushing in from the lower side of the site. We got Curves pushing in from heaven. This 2v4 is not going to be easy whatsoever. Smalls, how long does he survive? Curbs waking in towards the wrong side. Smalls takes him down immediately, leaving Kenny still over at short.
One enemy remaining.
Now, great play from Smalls. He's wasting so much time. Kenny being the last man alive, taken down by King, and the half defuse was already done. Tennessee walk away with a pretty difficult round there. You know, you have to agree that St. John's University were making a pretty good job in order to stop that take from happening. But even then, we got Tennessee coming out on top with that amazing retake, and St. John's University, they're all tied up.
Oh, that was almost a masterpiece in post plant by St. John's, where they know they only have 2 members, but you have to watch that Ray's ultimate, the showstopper, was at 7 out of 8, gets 1 kill, brings it online. And that was, I think, the crucial moment in the round where we saw it starting. We saw the spike ticking down, we saw the molly dropped, but the sacrifice to get the spike to half was so huge, and it nets UTK that round, really ruining a great performance by St. John's remaining 2 members. Really sad for them because I think they deserved that round, but life and Valorant is not always fair. They're on the back foot once again, and we have not seen either team take any sort of meaningful advantage, and that's just what we expected with both squads being so close in the standings, both squads just trying to overtake each other on the leaderboard and give themselves the highest seed possible moving forward. Right now, it's just a 1-3-1 default with a little bit of mid presence trying to be developed by St. John's. Considering they have the Sheriffs, I like this play. Nearly 2 ships passing in the night over on the C site. But maybe they're going to commit to the C site. This gap, though, it's not good.
Oh, definitely not. So much damage already being done to Sunny, and BBG Bridge, all he needs to do is speak out once, which he does, takes down Sunny almost immediately, leaving St. John's down in a 3v5 position, and Abe seems to be the only prospect that they're looking to take at the moment.
And it's open for now, but they still have to be diligent. They have to realize any of these corners can have a St. John's member ready and waiting, so they're going to clear everything, realize this is a B focus. And I'm going to say for St. John's, you're going to get the plant here. I think they're pretty happy about that for this eco, and especially how it started. But UTK, they've been rotating really quickly whenever there's presence shown. And I want to see St. John's take advantage of that, especially as a couple more of their ultimates, like the Rolling Thunder, are going to be coming online soon, where it's really easy to sell a fake with that. But there's a lot of time that's been wasted. So this could be dangerous if a couple frags go the way of St. John's.
Oh, Brit's gonna be the first one finding, and Smalls, even if he finds 1, I don't believe it's gonna be enough. Kenny is the last man alive, and with an Iron Sheriff in his hand, I'm not sure he's able to do much. Never mind, he finds Bridge. Can he get the second? No, he can't. Curves is there to take him down, but I'm still surprised off that kill from the Smoke King. Puts the spike down, and it's gonna be Tennessee leading up by 1.
And it was still so close. Back-to-back rounds where it's King defusing with less than 5 seconds to go. It shows that while Tennessee, they're making these really tight margins, these are not comfortable by any means. These are definitely points that if we saw 1 extra shot from that Iron Sheriff connect with the head and he was able to play behind the smoke, maybe those 3 seconds aren't bought by that kill and you lose the round, right? It's been so close, and now St. John's are lining up all together, so this is going to be a fast hit with the Rolling Thunder. But, oh, Bridge, you're not ready for this unless you are 2 back-to-back, and it's immediately traded.
Immediately traded. I'm very surprised as to where Knight found those 2 kills. One over at site, and the other one, I have no idea where, but it turns out perfectly fine. St. John's University, 3v3, site under their control, and they can easily play this post-man situation to their advantage.
And Kenny already with a second orbital strike. It's only round number 5. This guy's been completely popping off. They've been feeding so many of those spike plants right over to him because of how powerful it can be. And now they've got the Nightfall on top of the strike. This is going to be really difficult to try and retake if you're UTK.
Fade out.
1 enemy remaining.
Knights finds 1, deleted by Curves there. Kenny takes down Curves, leaving us in a 1v1 with King. Last man alive. He has no other option but to push in. He has the ult in his hand. Tries to take him down, but Kenny's got the dub. And St. John's University, they're not out of it yet. After losing multiple rounds in a row, they have finally brought it back. And 3-3 is the current scoreline.
And this is what I mean when I was mentioning those last couple rounds, is how UTK are comfortable taking a lot of these really extended retakes, and we're going to see a timeout from UTK. I like this decision. Gives them a chance to breathe and to reset off of what's been a very chaotic start to this game. But they've been giving so much time to St. John's in the post plant to set up, to leave site. And while that round there was 2 ultimates that could have been used and there was a couple of kills early, so it's not as clear cut, they're still giving away a lot of space that St. John's realistically shouldn't be getting with how disadvantaged so many of these positions have been. So I think that for UTK, the call right now has to be form up. We're going to be on a bit of a scrappy buy this time if we choose to buy up, or maybe they opt to save. Either one I'm fine with because they've been keeping the score pretty close, but really have to be on top of it because St. John's, they've been getting better every round. And this last one was that tipping point that they were able to finally notch one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they keep running away with this kind of tempo.
There is something that I would want to point out. University of Tennessee, like you mentioned earlier, have been very quick on their rotations, but that doesn't justify their slow execution. Even after reaching the site, they are still a little slow to decide how they want to retake it. So if they can get that time right, they'll have a little more close calls with taking multiple rounds in a row against St. John's in post-man situations. But off the ult from Sova, we already got St. John's University down by 2 players, in Tennessee are starting off with a bit of an advantage.
And this is just looking like an ARAM. We're playing a different Riot game at this point. Everyone just hanging around mid, throwing all of the abilities they can and hoping something sticks. And now we're at a 3v3 with 2 members very low. So not much to be said, just a flurry of blows, and now King might run right into a crosshair, but this is the low member. Smalls gets that advantage, and now last 2 members still sitting mid. And St. John's, they see the A site. It's free for the taking.
Not the first time. This is not the first time that St. John's University have found an empty A site and they take it completely under their control. And it's going to be Curbs and the Astra looking to take this right back into their own hands. Curbs pulling out the reveal early on. Sunny, wow, quick on the execution, quickly hides himself, and Curbs, even if he figures it out, it doesn't matter. Sunny's there to take every single man down, and St. John's University are now up by 1.
Oh my gosh. This is the attacking Cypher I like to see. He's a little rat down there. He holds on to the cage, like millisecond times it against the recon arrow to make sure he's not spotted, takes the 2v2, wins it magnificently. So props to Sunny there for realizing what's your job as an attacking Cypher, right? You clear space where you don't expect there to be enemies on the lead in. You set up your post plant with your camera to gain information, and once you know that there really aren't many options left for your opponents, you get ratty and you mess them up, and it's worked out so far. Is now Bridge gonna get spotted by the camera, and this is just gonna be a bit of a spray back and forth. There's so many members from UTK once again.
I believe they are only on pistols and stingers all the way through. Yep, that's what it seems like, and it's a successful attempt from them as SBL and Curbs, they've already found 2, and St. John's University do have to spike down over at B site here. King, he gets one with the frenzy, looking to find one through the spray. Not lucky enough though. We got Smalls, Vandal in hand, could do a lot of damage, but he doesn't. SBL takes him down immediately. Bridge couldn't do much with it, and University of Tennessee have just won an eco round.
All right, UTK proving me wrong using that stack, but of course this time, as you mentioned, they were on a thrifty, right? They only had stingers, they had to get close, and going up A long and short together is probably your most consistent option with that kind of buy. And now they've got money. They were able to bonus up and grab a couple rifles, 4 to be exact, right? They kept so many members alive off that last round, so this is a really big tipping point. It feels like we're just constantly going back and forth where there's a mistake that's been replicated, and then it gets punished by the opposing team. They try to adjust a little bit, and then we've seen this just strat, counter strat, as now St. John's, they're opting to buy, but Kenny only having that Sheriff.
Only with the Sheriff, but so far, he has proved threatening no matter what gun he's running. Let's see if he's able to provide something here. Bridge Phantom in hand, hiding in the upper area. Sunny takes him down, followed up by Knife finding PVMG. SPL is going to be putting out the big guns. The ult is going to do a lot of damage. He finds one, gets another, pulls out the flash. Does he find the third? No, he doesn't. Sunny taken down. And we got Smalls playing a very patient game here, trying to put in some points of damage, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. And St. John's University, boys, A side seems to be clear, so if you just want to do that again.
They could just rotate it out, but this one's not quite as clear cut. But what a hold from SBL, just shutting down all of St. John's as they tried to push forward, running to the back, dropping that Rolling Thunder. Not an easy decision to make. Really impressed with that just snap decision making. Does look like for once St. John's are not leaning towards the open A site, they're leaning towards the stacked C site, and as I say that, they go back mid and might just want the B site after wasting so much time. And this is one thing that they've used to their advantage, is their perception of wanting to go to the extremities after pushing mid. Now they're finally committing to that B site, should be able to get this plant down. Post plant's going to be a little risky though. Once again, they've got that Brim ulti, so they can try and play from range.
It all comes down to Smalls here. He is going to be the one pushing out further and decides to hide it in the backboard area. Let's see what SBL has to offer. Concussion, ready to go. Curbs. First man to peek in. The reel's going to be put down as well. Smalls still being able to hide, leaving Wade and Kenny protecting mid. This retake's not going to be easy whatsoever. Not without flashes, and that seemed to be that they lack at the moment. Smalls, like I said, no flashes to work with. Peeks out, gets his head. Kenny takes 2 down in the process, and St. John's University completely successfully rather hold down B site.
And I'm just a little confused there for UTK. Don't get me wrong, it was a good post-plant setup, a nice crossfire where they were just holding all of the opposite angles and everyone could rotate in if needed. And of course, St. John's also just winning all of their duels. But for UTK, on all of those rounds that we were seeing them take quite a while to set up and try to make the retake happen, at the very least, they were all together. And that's why rounds, I want to say 4 and 5, worked for them even when they gave so much time, is because they moved in as a unit. They executed together. And if the margins were tight, they still worked because they were all together. And this time, they all move independently, losing their duels and can't use any of that remaining team play. There was also some shock darts that were up that weren't used to clear back side. A little confused on that. Of course, nerves can come in for UTK, and it's a difficult position to try and clear. But it's a couple spots I've seen where St. John's just feel a little more decisive, and this might be one. Curbs losing the duel to Sunny.
Curbs finding one early, and of course, a kill over at B is absolutely necessary no matter where you are headed on a map like Haven.
Face your fear!
Nightfall dropped, and these swarm grenades are going to buy a decent amount of time out of long. They're lucky that's the side the spike decided to go to, which means this Nightfall was pretty much wasted. So, gotta feel good countering an ultimate with a 200 credit ability. And now I think the retake's coming soon, and they're going to start with Sunny.
Going down to the Astra as well. BBMG pushing in through the molly. Not sure whether that's the right idea. SBL still manages to take one down. Smalls takes down 2 in the process, and St. John's come out on top with their 6th round win.
I could barely tell what was happening there. There was like 3 smokes plus an Astra wall plus a tactical nuke coming out of Smalls to save the round. Superstar performance right now out of Smalls. 14 kills. Double that of Kenny and Sunny, so really making a name for themselves, stepping up. Not haven't played every week on this roster, so really excited to see them. And just for UTK, that felt like such a good post plant, but you can't be ready for just the bombs coming out now. Stingers across the board.
Stingers across the board here, and St. John's University, this time around are looking as mighty as they possibly can be. And, we remember what happened last time when St. John's went up against Stingers, so they would probably want to prevent going towards that side, which they seem to be doing just perfectly at the moment, as SG Void going to be the one finding the first one. Cribs still alive. Iron Vandal, Iron Stinger rather, what can he do with it? Nothing, not yet. WTB Smalls pushes in with the satchel. SBL runs out of bullets, leaving University of Tennessee in a 2v3 here with Void getting the spike down. How do you make this comeback?
Link together. Hope you have a nanoswarm to clear out back sight. and play from there, because there actually might be a rifle they can pick up in garage, so that could be their option, and they're using the Killjoy ulti, but still entering from opposite sides, entering on different timings. This just gives a kill over to Smalls. King's all alone. Sure, you've got a Phantom, but what's that really gonna do? And you pushed before the detain happens. Smalls should go down here to King, but it's not coordinated for this retake. Now there's two members who can play together. Knight's gonna peek this, just snatch away the kill. St. John's put themselves up to 7.
Wow, St. John's seem to be walking away with this one. What is that? 3 rounds in a row for the St. John's side. What do you think, Turbo, has changed?
I don't think all that much has changed from St. John's. They're still playing a very similar game, right? They're storming onto site pretty quickly. They're setting up a nice post plant, giving space when necessary, and respecting their opponents. But for UTK, all of these retakes as of late have been split. They've been separated. They're not using that coordination we know this team has, the coordination we saw last week against Rochester. So I'm just a little confused moving forward, but there's still the second half. But this was their map pick, right? And you're on defense, and Haven has started to lean into more of a defensive-sided map, and it's just getting ran over by the offense. 2 unanswered kills immediately taken. BBMG is going to fall in a couple seconds. Can't get the shots out against Smalls, and this round's already over.
That does seem to be the case here. They've got the spike down on a 5v2 here, make it a 5v1. Not sure, no matter what you pull off, it's not going to be easy whatsoever. SBL does take down 1 before being concussed. That, I believe, is all that she wrote for this particular game. The second flash comes in, make it 3, and it's going to be St. John's University taking their 8th round win.
Switching sides.
Really, really good attacking half from St. John's. That last round was just a really good performance by Knight. Helping start off the round with those picks out of garage and then cleaning it up as it continued. But considering how UTK played on defense, I think that we can't see that same lack of coordination on offense, right? And this is their map pick. They should have some executes. Their composition is definitely geared towards it, right? Astra Raze, classic combo. Astra Breach Raze, very strong combo. You throw in the KJ for some post plan, and of course the Sova for recon, and you have some shock dart plus gravity well options or aftershocks, right? There's a lot that can be done on these executes, and we need to see it out of UTK, because otherwise I think St. John's could win this pistol and then it all be over as a quick concuss straight out of long. This is already a good start for St. John's. They know something's up.
And, you know, it's like you said, Turbo, this pistol round is absolutely crucial. King through the smoke finds 1, and it's going to lead to St. John's University trying to push in, but Tennessee seem to be having their number, with Sunny being the last man alive, and this retake might just not be going his way. Well, what we wanted has come true.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that. While St. John's had the early info, they acted a little hastily on it. Everyone trying to trickle in and prevent the spike from getting dropped, but they just didn't have the team timing together. Wind up getting just picked off one by one, and now Sunny fancies themselves a chance at trying to step forward. But this is a 1v5 in a nice post plant position. Bridge is already spamming through the smoke. Sunny's just gonna wait for it to drop and be met by a firing squad of UTK pistols, and that's a jump scare if I've ever seen one, right? Smoke drops, 4 people just
5-8 being the current scoreline here. St. John's University, well, they wanted to take that pistol round, not how they imagined it to go, but this is what they have. How do they build up back from it?
It has to be more of that kind of coordinated aggression we saw in the pistol, but with them having the gun advantage, I don't think they need to be too hasty. You don't want to potentially run up against a force or anything like that. So we're going to see some early info gained by St. John's out of grass, and then they'll just step back trying to use that Raze fade. It's not quite as strong as it used to be, so not going to see any one-shots off the bat, but already, this is what I mean when I say tempered, coordinated aggression, where your teammates are pushing with each other, they're systematically gaining space, and you have the gun advantage, so you know you're not really worried about taking any of these individual duels. But with there being 3 members on this A site, the pseudo stack, I don't think that there's necessarily a read from St. John's, but they do know that there's at max 2 players on this side of the map. So now we're going to see that fake come through on A site. Going to commit it, and with that kill from King, this will be a C complete. 1 player is aware in smalls, but that will be it. They'll likely go down in just a couple seconds. Very well done by UTK. This is what we wanted to see.
Absolutely. Now being on the offensive side, UTK has been doing a wonderful job. No matter what guns they seem to be working on, it all seems to be working out perfectly fine. And just like that, Bridge taking down multiple with the stinger.
And that'll be King finding the final.
King.
Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Still second round, though, and they had the gun advantage, so we have to see how they do up against rifles. And this is when you got to hit the gas for 1 round if you're a UTK and not let it take away from the rest of your game plan. That just want to see these guys hit hard and fast when they've got the shorter range weapons and they've got those SMGs. But it seems that the buy's a little mixed. It's not quite as strong as you'd expect out of St. John's from their investment in some utility last round. So Sunny with a Judge, some light armor for Kenny, makes this a little bit weaker, a little more vulnerable than you'd tend to expect for that first gun round.
Early suppression coming in from the St. John's University side. Trying to get in as much information as they possibly can.
And I like that they're doing really well at just covering every single angle. I mean, look at that star, right? You have the gravity well, Bridge pushes up with the stinger, fantastically plays the angle. Now you've got 2 rifles you can step up onto and run onto this A site you'd rather hold on to, but a great flash and push back out. Void only good for 1, though, and UTK find themselves in a 4v5. These teams, it seems like they're just really strong on offense, not sure what to do on defense.
Well, what do you do as St. John's University? How do you make this comeback? Sunny pushing in, guns blazing with the Judge in hand. I guess that's one way to do it. I'm not sure whether you're able to find more like this, but we'll find out soon enough.
Oh, I don't even know how King snuck past him, but now it is all Sunny, and we're not in Philadelphia, so won't always be Sunny sticking around. Gonna try and pick up a Bulldog, gets knocked down by Bridge. And UTK 1 away from tying this one up. Great start to this half, and with the gun disadvantage St. John's are bound to have, I think we're going to get it all tied up as St. John's taking their timeout. I think this is a good time. It's similar to when UTK took theirs in the last half, at least as far as feels, when you're seeing your opponent start to streak. But we also know how that went for UTK. They only won 1 more round off of that timeout, and they haven't gotten much success until this second half. So I think for St. John's, the call has to be, this next round, we're just going to half buy. Let's not worry about it. But when we get into the gun rounds, let's play a little bit slower, but still not give away too much information. We know that they're going to be executing. So if we have to retake, they can. They've got a good composition for it. And I think Sunny's really the only one that you want to just try and sit and stand their ground.
Absolutely. Sunny has been known to get to do a lot of damage when it comes to it. And you'd want to see more of that coming in from Sunny. On the other side, University of Tennessee have won multiple rounds in a row, so it's time for Sunny to step it up.
Yeah, and Smalls has already been doing so much work, and I think Kenny has been playing really well. I think the scoreline isn't necessarily reflective of how much utility, at least on the offensive half, that this Brimstone was able to put together. But Void as a player has been a little bit, it feels just off pace, right? A little bit behind teammates or a little bit ahead of teammates with these flash and stun timings. So I think that's just another moment where St. John's has to cool down, clear those comms, let themselves relax for a bit. And we are just going to see a full save into a rush. They want to get this round over with, get straight over to guns as soon as possible. And the teams are rushing opposite sides of the map.
SBL, they're going to push in towards C side again. On the other side of the map, bit of a different story here. St. John's, you still need that first round.
Oh, they're just gonna run and gun, and they're gonna get met by King, who's holding the angle. Does get tagged a little bit. This could turn into a shooting range or into a disaster. Not sure what direction we're gonna get. It's just a bunch of footsteps bouncing forward, some bombs thrown, and I'll let you take the rest later.
Well, it's gonna be a lot of competition between the Classics and the Vandals. We got Sunny once again on the Classics. Ooh, evades the concuss like a badass. And we got Smells pushing in one. Bridge, BBMG, finding multiple players there in Tennessee they have crushed the competition trying to take C-side from them. And, well, 8-4 was the current scoreline when we headed into the second half. It's 8-8.
Oh, we're all tied up, and I think St. John's going to be happy taking away 2 guns, but that's really not that much of a dent in the economy of UTK. They're still really strong. They can buy for the next 2-3 rounds very comfortably. St. John's, with that full save last round, it sets them up to be able to have 2 back-to-back rifle rounds and try and push that together even if they do lose this next round. So both squads really focused on these next 2 because they're threatening double digits and could be really determinant on how this game goes. We're seeing St. John's take a much slower approach. They're pretty much conceding B site. I like this a lot, just allowing Smalls to hold an angle, and now a little bit of pressure onto this A site, but it's still just SBL and Bridge, so I don't want to see St. John's overcommit to this.
Do they? Do they commit to this?
They're patient. This is good. This is really, really good out of St. John's. They're realizing that UTK, they make a lot of noise, but you've still got to watch for that spike, and it is starting to lean towards that A site, but I think you've got 2 of the players you want for the stall. You've got the Cypher and you've got the Brimstone. You've got Molly, you've got Cages, a lot that you can do and a lot of just time you can buy for the rest of the team. Smalls is going to be that first rotator forward as well, as Sunny's set up on top. Going to have to break down. Here comes the execute.
Oh, Sunny will probably be regretting that decision here. Could not find Bridge through the spray. Bridge, on the other hand, is going to be punishing the entire squad as he's taken down 2. And St. John's University are on the right track to be going down yet another round here. Tennessee, complete control of site, and they have absolutely shut down the defense.
And I didn't hate that play stepping forward from Sunny. I think it's a little risky, but there was still just a moment that they missed the shots against that flying raise, and that's the really critical moment, as we're going to see another entry and Curbs getting it with the shock dart. This is brutal.
Really is, and I don't believe that Void alone will be able to pull off something here with the flash that he pushes in from. It's not going to do much. BBMG takes down yet another in Tennessee. Well, that's their 5th round in a row.
Oh, that was it's such a good start from St. John's. And if you're at home and you're just like, oh, what? They just sat on site and were patient. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. They were patient. They let their opponents come to them. They waited for the commitment. And even that move from Sunny stepping down onto site, he escaped that showstopper that would have just crushed him up in heaven. So all things considered, all the right moves were made there for St. John's. But UTK, they were a little bit faster. I think that Bridge was just too quick on the approach, and that really threw off the St. John's defense, and they weren't quite able to convert, because if Bridge doesn't enter and get those 2 kills, it's just a 1 round for St. John's, because they delay the plant, they take a lot of time, but Bridge being the real hero of that round, bringing it back. I think St. John's, they've got this buy round, they have a little bit of util to work with. They have the Rolling Thunder for retakes. That's what they should play for. And once again, they're playing passive, giving up B site, contesting these positions that they know UTK wants to push into.
Once again, we see Kenny to be the only man present currently over at A side. Bridge and SPL seem to be the ones leading the charge, while on the other side of the map, we got Knight taking down BBMG early on. So already, bit of a disadvantage situation here for the University of Tennessee, for St. John's University.
And see, that's also really good, because we know, because we have omniscience and we can see the whole map, that when Tennessee starts to lean towards a site, they really do start to commit all of their members. So good reaction by Knight, pushes forward, grabs a pick, and now this pretty much indicates it's going to be a site, and Bridge walks forward for free, and those 2 members getting traded make this a 3v3, but a little bit of information, no certainty on where St. John's is. This is forcing a lot of time to be wasted. Now there's only 20 seconds. There's a Rolling Thunder here to prevent this play. This is scary.
14 seconds. Smalls. How do you stop Hank? Well, I guess that's how you do it. That's one way to do it. We got Knight pushing in. He has found 3, while the others were there to pick up the broken pieces of that attack coming in from Tennessee. And just like that, St. John's University have tied this game out.
Oh, that is fantastic. Great retake with the Rolling Thunder, but of course now they don't have that. They will have the Nightfall, they will have the Orbital Strike, have that ulti advantage. I think Tennessee, they're probably just going to pick a site, B or C, let their Breach ultimate and run forward once they have some information, but we're seeing little adjustments from St. John's. They're being patient, tempered aggression, little bits and pieces that you need to compete against a team that's starting to streak like Tennessee, right? And they've got 5 in a row. They just lost one back. Have to see how this affects the mentals of both teams. Oh, nearly some Valorant timing on the Knight, just barely alive.
It's gonna be living it up for a little while longer. While on the other side, we got Tennessee looking to push in towards B side. That failed is gonna be stopping them for a good while here. We got SD Kenny holding the exact same position. Only a minute left here. Tennessee, you push towards C again. If yes, is it gonna be through Garage? Is it gonna be through C long, or are they gonna be bringing us something completely different?
And that's unfortunate. Knight taking a really cheeky angle, knowing that they just have to try and get one and get out, make a trade happen. Is now we're going to see the Rolling Thunder. It's going to take on to Smalls, who may go down, but stays alive for quite a while. And this is more and more time, but it's the name of the game for St. John's.
Wow, as the dust settles, we got trades coming in left, right, and center, but leaving St. John's University in a 3v4. And there is another. Danny finds one, and I can't believe he just survived that brimstone out. Would you look at that? Curbs and Sunny trading each other out, leaving King to be the only man alive from the University of Tennessee.
Last couple seconds. Kenny gets the kill. St. John's got 2 in a row. That's got to feel good. And this was a weird round, right? You see Knight getting chunked early, drops the Nightfall to prevent any B shenanigans, and does buy a lot of time, forces UTK to reconsider what they're doing, and then we see the commitment onto C site. And the fact that Smalls doesn't get cleared right away is really big, because it gives so much information over to St. John's. They can hear how many members are coming. They can hear what utilities getting popped. They don't have to risk another member pushing forward and potentially dying to gain that, and it allows them to use that Brim ulti once they get the spike down. And that's also just another moment where UTK, a little overzealous, having their spike a little too far forward, and we're just unable to rotate off of that, because if you have 2 members, you have a little time. You could probably make it to B site, but once it gets stuck and that orbital strike comes down, the round's all but over. As UTK, they're going back to what worked before, leaning towards this A site, but oh, this stack. This is scary.
It really is. St. John's University once again looking to stop this push towards A site here. This is gonna be once again not going to be easy whatsoever to take this side back, but Smalls this time baby steps to try and better. Skill here. Curves taken down by the nade. It's gonna leave St. John's University in a bit of a favorable position. Let's see what he's able to do with it. SD Stan is still very much around to absolutely stomp upon whoever wants to cover through, leaving SBG Void peeking as well. Doesn't survive for much longer. Docker is there to save the day, and it's gonna be St. John's University taking their very first round win.
Oh man, they're getting close. It's a good retake. It's honestly what I wish I'd seen more of Tennessee when they were on defense, because there were a lot of positions where there could have been that same coordination out of Tennessee when they were on the defending side, but we just didn't see it, where they were trickling, and St. John's have learned from those mistakes. They punished them in the previous half, and now they're really stepping forward. And for UTK, this is a huge timeout. This is realistically your last gun buy if you lose this one, because next round you have to try and force, and you're going to have maybe 2 rifles, right? And it's not going to be a great, or 3 rifles probably, but it's not a great position to be in when you're facing down a nice bankroll that St. John's is going to have. And this is your map pick. You picked Haven. Well, the next one is Ascent, and that's a pretty neutral map. I can't say that I'm really favoring either team out the gate. You want to win on the map you picked. You want to be confident moving forward in the series. Take that edge. Force your opponents to perform. And now they have to win 4 rounds. They've realistically got to do it in a row. Where St. John's, they just need 1 and to try and convert that off the economic reset.
It's not going to be easy whatsoever, but this is the chance for University of Tennessee to shine through and equalize the scoreline here. It all starts right now. Tennessee, what kind of shenanigans do you have up your offensive arsenal? 9-11 being the current scoreline.
Oh, and they're just stacking C, and this is complete opposite of St. John's setup. They've been seeing so much mid and A presence that now diligence has been rewarded. That consistency has worked out as Tennessee are just going to run it back. A quick execute with the Hunter's Fury as well. Doesn't catch much, but will secure this site right off the bat.
Pushing in towards the site here. We got St. John's on the retake. Knight and Smalls. Pushing in all the way through. Knight's already found one with a Vandal Spray taken down by BBMG. He's looking for the second one. He doesn't get it. Kemi's there to take him down as well. SPL taking last man alive. One over at Garage. He's too busy throwing away Mollies, and SPL completely yours for taking. Would you look at that though? Through the smoke, he's taken down too, but he doesn't realize that the smoke's still being diffused. He was confused about the decoy, but SPL through the smoke has found 3, and St. John's are now 1 round away from taking game 1.
I'm just so sad in that moment for SPL. Who's playing so well. Manages to get 2 through the smoke and gets that second player. Is like, oh my gosh, I got the diffuser. We're good. I have to wait for one more tap. Didn't realize you just caught the body blocker of the diffuser, and that's going to be a round that sits in your head, but you can't let it affect you now during this match. We're going to see a little bit of speed, a decent buy for UTK, and they're going to need to make the most of it. Tether doesn't catch much, and Smalls gets caught. That is big for Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely. Taking down the early members of the side has turned out to be great so far. But it seems like they're gonna be looking towards a push here. Not a lot of action going on, but if we have a closer look at the radar, B might just be the best idea to go for.
I don't know about the B site just because it can be sort of pincered. There's still no information on Sunny, and they're about to get some as they peek out on the long. Realizing the Cypher is set up towards the C site, didn't hard rotate, and now actually Knight pushing so far forward out of A. They know that this is C. This could just be a great stand for Sunny. There's a lot of smoke for him to work with, and it loses that first contact, and that was almost a hero stand. But Tennessee 5v2, these are the rounds you gotta win, and they're gonna snatch it up as Knight, last one standing. He'll try and do some damage, but only one member going down. That's a dream scenario to try and force overtime if you're UTK.
10-12, St. John's University only 1 round away still from victory. University of Tennessee, they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back ever so slowly, taking multiple medals. But now it is the chance. This is a chance for Tennessee to just, clutch all the way through, get that overtime going here in game 1.
It really is, and I mean, just looking at the round score, 5 one way for the other. It's just been these massive tempo swings. So in this moment, you have to say the pattern favors UTK if they can keep streaking, and they're going to have to. And especially with St. John's now being on a weaker bye, they're playing for that 13-11 scoreline. Smalls has an opportunity to go huge here off of this tripwire contact. And that's really, I think, all that St. John's has for this round. We're going to see a deeper position back. Bridge is going to take away this tripwire. And then Smalls is going to realize, wait, I made the wrong decision. I got to run on back. Knight doesn't get caught quite yet, but it's going to be UTK picking up site. Good counter pick, though. Makes it doable.
I can't believe Smalls is walking away with kills from the Sheriff here, especially in such an open area. BBMG is going to push through the smoke, get one for himself, and Kenny's also going to be finding one with the Sheriff. A lot of kills on the Sheriff, but so far everything has been countered, leaving St. John's University down to last 2 players who are going to be having to make a B site retake. We got Small, 60 health to his name, as well as the Breach. What do they do with? And they have decided to push all the way towards the A side. University of Tennessee, they want to win this game, and they want to do everything in their power to make this happen.
Absolutely. At this point, right, you want to play it as safely as possible. You know your opponents are probably able to pick up rifles. This isn't as clear cut as it was at the start when you knew they were all on sheriffs. So take the site that you have lineups for, take the site you can take delayed engages and that they have to clear everything. B-side is also just so much harder to hold on to that this is, I really like this decision as sure, that gives away there's at least one player short, but this should be a clean hold from UTK unless we see some real fireworks out of St. John's.
And Small seems to be struggling a little from dock him down, but he finally does. 40 health now. All it takes is one bullet. How do they stop this Void? Try peeking a little too aggressively. King takes him down, and this is yet another round going in favor of Tennessee as the Vandals have been saved. Only one of them, though. Tennessee, 11-12. King still alive.
Oh, now I gotta look at the money. I'm not sure how much UTK has. They have just enough for a complete full buy. It's like an overtime round where everyone has 5K, so they're going to be lucky on that front. I think Void has to give up one flash, and that's all that they're missing. So overall, pretty good for St. John's, or excuse me, UTK. They've got plenty of money. They got the last 2 rounds. They're doing just fine. And we have one true gun round to see if we go to overtime. St. John's, they've got 2 pretty solid ultimates, Showstopper, Orbital Strike. UTK, they've got the Great Divide, and they've got the Rolling Thunder. That is going to be huge. Those are great site-taking ultimates, as the Showstopper already used so early gives away the position of Smalls and starts to help UTK decide what side of the map they're going to go towards.
And, you know, I guess that helping hand has, you know, directed Tennessee's way of pushing in towards the A side, which once again, J-Turbo, surprise, surprise, it's empty.
Not quite, not completely
Only one
empty.
over at short, only one over at short.
There's one guy. Oh no, Knight going down early. It's not great for St. John's. That was one of their ultimates, the Nightfall available. So that is really, or wasn't available, it was available off the death, but still one ult or one kill could have brought that online. So won't have any access to that. As we're seeing the slow, methodical push into A, the Owl Drone being very careful to clear everything out. Gotta do your due diligence, but that audio cue from the Owl Drone, I'm pretty sure that it was heard from short, and we're going to see that Rolling Thunder hit nothing, and Bridge wins that. Kenny answers back.
Great response from Kenny is found 2. Void's gonna get 2 as well, leaving St. John's University in a 2v2 here against Tennessee. The Breach ult has done a lot of damage. Everybody's ult having been pulled out here. The Spike looking to be planted, and he's got to push through SBL. He has no time. 12-10, the countdown begins, and Kenny is going to stop him right in the roots. BBMG pushes through the wall and denies it. Kenny is there to save the day, and St. John's University take game number 1.
Oh my gosh, that was almost quite the comeback from UTK. They goes 8-4 on your map pick when you're on defense on Haven, where you're expecting to at least go even or close to it, and then they win 5 rounds right back. They find themselves in the lead. St. John's, crucial timeout, some key performances. I mean, look at the 2 raises on these teams, 30 and 27 kills respective. Fantastic individual performances from Bridge and Smalls, but also individual performances don't always win games. There were a lot of times that there was one utility frag here or a little bit there, and it just wasn't quite enough for UTK. They came so close, but the fact that that game was so even gets me excited for Ascent, and we expected this one to be dead even. You can't get much closer than 13-11.
Absolutely, but you know, you have to point out, we were talking about Raze being picked up early and how much of a factor it becomes on a map like Haven. And yes, it was the biggest factor, a total of 57 kills coming in from the Raze agent alone, and the next one's Ascent, and you know, people have started playing Valorant on maps like Ascent, so this is gonna be an extremely competitive next game, which we will be right back shortly, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
All that matters. What is that emote? That's crazy. That's crazy.
My name is Ryan Vu.
My name is Justin Rolone.
My name is Justin Garcia Quinones.
My name is Chenji.
My name is Brian Patantis.
My name is Raymond Asencow.
My name is Jasmine.
My name is Maya DeLong.
I'm Mark Etienne.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to St. John's.
Esports is competitive gaming. Imagine playing really any video game you ever enjoyed playing, but playing it competitively to the best of your abilities. The Esports Club, though, we're more than just competitive teams. We host gaming for everybody. We just want people to come out, play games, have fun, and then hopefully host a few good teams that might win a few championships for the school.
We are definitely developing and pushing to build and develop that infrastructure that a lot of other clubs already have. Whatever skill level you are, you can come out, have fun, compete, don't compete. We welcome anyone.
There's not really a spot elsewhere for people to just play video games. Our club is definitely like all-inclusive, so if you're like even just a casual gamer that games, an hour a day or an hour a week, it doesn't really matter. You can come and play and make friends, so that's really what it's all about.
A club like this is meant to bring games out of the dorm room and meet other people, make friends. We do game nights every other Friday night. You'll get an opportunity to play some games you've never played and meet some people you wouldn't meet otherwise. So if you're interested in gaming, come on out to the club and see what it's about.
And we are back with map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. This time we are going to be heading to Ascent, which is St. John's pick. Now, first one, UTK's pick, a pretty close game going 11-13 as a Turbo. We clearly know that could have easily gone to overtime.
Yeah, easily could have gone to overtime. I think if UTK had been a little bit stronger on the defensive half, certainly could have just had a win on that map, but still don't worry about that. You're in a new game. You have to focus on that. And we're looking at these stats. Both of these teams don't have a ton of time on Ascent. I think it's just because a lot of the time it was a map decider. And also last split, Bind was in the rotation. So a lot of teams were opting for Bind over Ascent, sometimes banning out Ascent. So that makes a lot of sense. But the only time that UTK has played Bind or played Ascent this season was against St. John's, and they lost 10-13. So still a very close score line. The UTK team, if they can improve, take some of the mistakes, remove them that we saw from last game, just playing together on defense and making sure their retakes are structured, I think that there's a really good shot, as we're going to see pretty similar approaches from both of these squads. Sure, the Omen over the Astra, I think that's an ongoing debate, and the Breach versus the KO as far as your second initiator alongside that Sova, both just different sort of play styles that you want to have. Are you looking for more information? Or are you looking for more execute potential? And right now, UTK starting on defense, they're opting for more of that information. And I think SBL on this KO is going to be a really good option for them. So I like the direction both of these teams are going. I think it plays to their strong suits. And of course, you still have that core 3 of the KJ, the Jet, and the Sova.
Of course, on a map like Ace and KJ being absolutely useful, and like you said, the smoke's coming in from both sides. I do want to point out, though, I feel like the execution potential coming in from Breach is gonna be turning out a little better than what we can expect from KO on the defensive side.
Yeah, they both obviously have like a similar level of execution with their flashes. There's a lot of really good pop flash lineups on Ascent, so I'd be excited to see some of those. I'm expecting we're going to see one right here out of CAD, as UTK are already posturing pretty aggressively, and with this recon dart as well, we're going to get a scrap out of mid.
A little exchange of reveals here, as we see St. John's University heading in through A short. We got 3 of the players just waiting to welcome them. Kenny taken down by Curves. Red med, but look at that. St. John's University are looking to just force the issue here, pushing in at all possible angles, and it's working perfectly well in their favor. Knight taken down 2. Kenny finds 1 as well. King, last man alive over at A side, won't be surviving for a little while longer. St. John's University take round number 1. In a bit of a brute force fashion.
And in that moment, I think, like, for one, great just gunplay coming out of St. John's. I think they only lost 1 member. So really well done by them just to stick together. But for UTK, you shoot out the recon dart, it gets shot immediately. I think that's the first piece of utility you want to pop, right? Because if that gets shot, you can save your KO knife to throw it up, know how many members you might be running into. But instead, they used it to try and clear main. Still a good option if there's going to be that rush. But if you don't hear footsteps, you don't see much going on. I think it's just 1 point that KO is getting outclassed by the Breach, where we saw those stuns, those fault lines come into effect. And now the B stack not working out for UTK. This will be a free A site for St. John's, similar to what we saw on Haven. But of course, we're on a new map. It's a new day. And just going to wait for the rest of the team to get here to try and mount any sort of retake.
Surprisingly, no flank coming in from St. John's University, which you would absolutely expect on a map like Ascent. Somebody crawling around B short and mid to get all the people trying to cut in here, especially on eco rounds like these. University of Tennessee, how do you make this retake happen? The reveal comes in. Kenny, a lot of players detected early, but I don't believe that detection is going to be enough. A lot of damage being done as the dust settles. We got UTK in a 1v3. Smalls takes him down, and St. John's University take their round number 2.
That was looking good for a second. There's a little dance going down in hell with Smalls around the smoke. Did manage to survive and clutch that round out. 3 staying alive, so that means 2 Spectres, and a Bulldog. I think 2 Bulldogs were invested, so that's a little bit of that economic damage dealt. But this is where UTK really have to turn things around. They've got all of the rifles. They're already setting up to concede a lot of mid space and let this game play a little slower. I think that's better for them as a team, where we've already seen St. John's explosive nature and how quick they can be in some of these really dicey moments.
What's really surprising here is even after having assault rifles on them, is University of Tennessee have decided to completely abandon mid here, and I don't feel like that's one of the greatest ideas, because mid control on a map like Ascent is pretty important.
Yeah, it is really important, and I'm not gonna say that if you have the gun advantage, I think you should be taking mid control. I think that definitely should have been, instead of just leaving the alarm bot mid, you have a player sitting near market to try and contest that space. But now this is just
or at
going
the very
to
least, peeking towards short.
Yeah, exactly. Like giving you something. But now they've got a member towards tree. They've got a member towards main. And there is this option being presented, as we're going to see some footsteps. Here come the Astra Stars, and too much speed out of Kenny. That's what giving up mid gets you. They just weren't ready for it. They weren't ready for that kind of speed. And if you're conceding mid because you don't want to run into St. John's aggression, you also can't just have no information on where your opponents are.
Absolutely. Information, like you said, on a map like Ascent, very much crucial to taking rounds here, especially on the defensive side from University of Tennessee, who are now down to their last 2 players. King, Vandal in hand, should be looking to save this one. Dice to the Marshall, Herbs. Okay, a little too early to pull out the Odin, but they roll with it, and he is looking for the save.
And once again, I'm just a little confused by that decision-making out of UTK, right? We're seeing Silva playing for exits right out of the opposite side of door and tree, and let's see if this Odin can do some work. Doesn't quite get a second kill. 2 HP on Kenny. Really, really close. But back to that last moment, right? We see Smalls stepping forward, or not Smalls, we see King step up and trying to get some information, trying to peek with that turret, and then taking a solo fight. And we're seeing a timeout immediately out of UTK. I think that last round there was some miscommunication. The comms aren't quite as clear. So take a breather, listen to your coach, see what's the next decision, especially now that you are going to be on this half buy, setting up for next round. This is similar to what we saw last game, where it was St. John starting out strong, and then UTK had to take a timeout to try and reset. Of course, it was a little more back and forth in those early rounds, but it still reached a point that St. John's were just getting that much further ahead in the gun rounds. And so I like this proactivity. Take that timeout early, make sure that your team are all on the same page so we don't have more moments like what we just saw, where someone peeks out, someone else isn't ready to try and push with them, and the pressure just falls apart.
Absolutely. And like you said, St. John's University, they have taken the crucial round win here. Money not in Tennessee's favor at the moment. So St. John's University, this is their chance to push all the way through, get as many rounds as they possibly can while being on the attacking side.
Yeah. I mean, St. John's, I think they picked this attacking half, right? So they wanted to start off strong. They wanted to set the tempo on their... actually, UTK picked defense. So... excuse me, right? Because this is St. John's map pick. But the thing is, if UTK are picking defense here and they weren't on the same page during certain points last game, and then that wasn't quite rectified this game, just hope that it works out. As looks like we're going to see a tech pause. Bridge's ping is bouncing around the 500s, not exactly playable for a competitive game like Valorant. So hopefully that will get fixed, and we'll be able to figure out exactly what's going on their front. So the teams are just gonna hold tight, work on that. But from those first couple rounds, it does just feel like St. John's are using that same aggression, and UTK have not adjusted.
Yeah, and UTK, judging by the early position, seem like they're looking to push in towards B side again. We have seen this before, but we have also seen how St. John's University have been able to stomp upon whatever kind of play that comes towards them. Tennessee, this time on the defense, we got Bridge pushing in early with a Stinger. He has found one, and King and SPL are going to be finding more, and to be fair, their work is done. Smalls tries to equalize the balance here.
This is a great moment to take that aggression and to step forward, challenge your opponents a little bit more, especially right out of mid when you were seeing so much of that early pressure. But now when you know your opponents are on a save, you're probably just going to pick a site and go towards it. So good read out of UTK. See if they can hold on. Smalls gets the drop on King. Back to a 2v2.
Last player standing.
And just like that, Smalls has been picking off players left, right, and center, leaving
Spike planted.
only one BBMG to be the last man alive. St. John's University looking for a 2v1 here. Side Spike planted at side here. BBMG has no utility to work with at the moment.
Oh, but they're disconnected. This is possible.
Enemy remaining.
Oh my god.
That's an ace
Doesn't
from
check
Smalls?
the corner, and Smalls is gonna be getting that 5k here in the very 4th round of this game number 2.
I didn't even realize that all of those trades from mid were just Smalls, so should have been keeping track of that ace meter, and I think the BBMG saw like a pixel of Smalls out of the corner when they were dropping, but that's a really tight point to see, so I'm not gonna blame them for that. It was a very winnable round, but still really good result for UTK. You take 4 guns out of your opponents on a save that you almost brought back. That's the kind of mojo that we want to see. There looks like they're trying to contest mid a little bit more. They spot out that there's 1A, and this smoke, though, now that this alarm bot has been placed over and over again, it should get cleared out and give that indicator. This is just a systemic move, but Bridge sees the gun, takes the kill.
And smart by Bridge, and the escape as well coming in from the man himself. It's gonna be Knight, you know, he's gonna be looking for the trade here, but finding the trade is not gonna be easy whatsoever. And if you have a look at the broader aspect of this map, the Spike is chilling over at spawn with no protection whatsoever. But hey, here it comes, finally being picked up by the Jet, and the Spike seems to be headed towards A side. But in order to be able to get to A side, you need to face the 2 menaces present over at tree.
Exactly, and there's only going to be 1 contesting, so this is going to be really up to BBMG to use these stars. I think using the gravity well a little early, not a bad idea. You still have the concuss, you can still pop another smoke to let this clock run down, but Knight snatching away SBL for free. That's going to be the go button.
Oh man, BBMG, you know, he tried something similar. It did not work out well for him this time around. And St. John's University down to a bit of a 3v3 here. Curb still with the Odin in his hand, now looking to push in towards heaven. What does he make of it? We shall find out soon enough. Turbo, this is not going to be an easy take whatsoever, but it's definitely possible. A 3v3, we have seen stranger things, but can he? You know, he's peeking out around the boxes, dangling around, but Curbs is going to be the one coming out on top here. Finally, it's going to be University of Tennessee taking their very 1st round win.
And a much needed round win. It came off the back, I think, initially from just the fact that they were able to get a kill mid. They were able to make sure that straight through tree wasn't a conceded spot for this A attack. And while, of course, we did see SBL wind up falling and it did result in the site getting taken, the fact that there was that numbers advantage that could be worked with, the fact that King was able to find Knight on the back side of that round and turn the numbers advantage back towards UTK, it means a lot to them, and it's, I think, going to be the right burst of energy. But with that round win, they hadn't been doing very well up to that point, and it was very, very expensive. So now, without a ton of money, they're not on the best buy, but St. John still have to respect them.
And this time around, St. John's, you know, they're pretty much familiar as to how to respect them, since University of Tennessee have just taken their very 1st round win. Now looking for the 2nd as they push in towards A site.
And I like the setup. They pushed aggressively into B, but left their just time stallers left on this A site. And now we're going to see the counter lockdown immediately answered by the Hunter's Fury. So that's just going to be a trade of ultimates back and forth. But there is still the null command coming out for 1, and oh, never mind, it's taken out with SBL falling, and St. John's great post plant. Curb's gonna have to come up huge.
Oh, this Odin has been doing tons of damage, but not this time. St. John's University come out on top. It's Sunny getting the 3K and taking the 5th round win.
And this is the worst case scenario for UTK. You win that one round, you're feeling a little bit better, and you're forced to take this really awkward force buy. Yeah, you had the Blade Storm, you had a couple ultimates that you tried to use in that lockdown, but it was too little, too late, honestly. And once the site was taken pretty much for free, St. John's knew how to post plant, and there was a lot of time taken off the table by King and BBMG, but there's only so much you can do as a KJ and an Astra when you're not aggressively taking those angles and you're still waiting on the team to rotate. So we're seeing a similar B stack and mid pressure taken by St. John's, more of the same.
And, you know, just having a look at the Twitch chat, people saying, never count on Curbs with an Odin. And so far, you know, he has brought results for University of Tennessee. I will not be surprised if he continues to work with the Odin.
Oh, I think so. We've seen that they definitely know how to use the gun. It's just 2 kills at the end of a round when you're already in a 4v2 isn't exactly a recipe for success.
Yeah, execution should be a little early.
Oh, but Bridge is still just...
Kenny is looking for the trade. He's gonna be a little aggressive, but this is exactly what I was thinking is gonna happen. Kenny facing 2 players simultaneously, and he surprisingly still comes out on top with 20 health, surviving that angle. Sunny now pushing in from the other side, trying to support his teammate. Haven't found anybody yet, but that is 3 players over at B side, and you know, St. John's, they realize that they are looking to plant over at A, and the retake is gonna be coming in soon.
Yeah, Sunny doing such a good job, wasting so much time. Now, there isn't any Rolling Thunder. I don't think the Aftershock is up either, so St. John's don't have many ways to actually slow down or deny this defuse. They just have to be able to fight it out. Knight getting spotted does tell UTK there should be a crossfire setup of some sort. Now they know they both have to be main. Here's going to be the test. King on the flank.
King, and yep, just like that, it's a simultaneous 2 kill in a row coming in from University of Tennessee, and the second round win finally comes in through fruition. You know, you'd think after that, after wasting so much time over at B side, they won't be able to rotate quickly, but that was just there for a little while. University of Tennessee quick on the rotation and quicker on the execution.
And it's weird. The 2 of the best rounds that I've seen out of UTK are when they have Stingers and Sheriffs. They're confident and they're playing with that kind of aggression they really need to mix it up at times. And now they finally are able to get an op into Bridge's hands off the back of that Thrifty. I think this is the key moment in the round where if UTK can win this one, then St. John's are going to have to save up again. And this is going to be a good spot for them as 3 suppressed right off the bat.
All right, here we go. Bridge with the op in hand. He's quick as a... I'm not sure, quick as a flash here. He was very quick there. Finds the first kill over to St. John's University. He's looking for more. Does he get the second peek? No, he doesn't, but the damage is already done, right? Not going to be able to take mid control anymore, and this opens a lot of opportunities for flanks. I'm not sure what Tennessee's doing. Oh my god, Kenny with the knives takes down Bridge almost immediately.
I can't believe that Kenny got away with that. Bridge, a little greedy, I'm going to say. You already took some damage. You knew the jet knives were there, and there was still another updraft to be had. So I think without getting set up, it's a really risky play to take, but really doesn't matter. We've got a 4v4. Execute's about to start.
Man, yeah, I'm still wondering about how Kenny managed to get away with that. Never mind, how did Kenny manage to get away with this? Walked in, took King's head off, and now they've complete control of a site here. As we see the Sova trying to put in some kind of a util. Maybe get any information as to where the players are present over at site. But, you know, UTK, they have done this before. They can easily take the site back again.
Yeah, they have the KO ultimate. They can just drop this and make sure that nobody has the option. Okay, Knight's dead. Nothing else we said is they are going to pop both ultimates, make this really difficult to play. Last couple frags coming through from BBMG and Curbs, and this is the coordination that we got to see, right? This is what we've been missing, as we are going to see, I think it's Curbs pick up that defuse, put one more tick in that Hunter's Fury box, and I said it was going to be a pivotal round, and they got it, but I'm not sure if that op is getting carried over, and no, it couldn't be picked up. I think it can still be bought. Yeah, Curb's picking that up for Bridge, so there is still going to be that threat out in mid, but good looks from UTK. Despite not being able to carry over that op, they've still got plenty of cash to play with, and St. John's, once again, that last buy was a little scrappy. This one's going to be a little scrappy. Instead of just opting for a save into a full, now they're disadvantaged. Tennessee looking for that 4th round. I think it's definitely possible, so long as there aren't some shenanigans coming out of the lead from St. John's. They're already looking for a fast hit.
Oh my god, Bridge is just too fast for the operator. I mean, at this point, you should see it coming. Smalls, however, could not make it happen. Bridge, he's taken down one. He's looking for more. 85 health through his name, so he can still do a lot of damage as we see the push coming in from St. John's University towards B's side. That is one more kill for Bridge. Cribs finds one for his own. Knight getting in with the trade, but I don't believe that's enough. St. John's University down to their last 2 players, as University of Tennessee have completely shut down this push towards B's side. Spike under their control, and St. John's University are counting minutes till this round gets over.
Exactly. We're going to see Knight pick it up. So Tennessee should be aware that this is a real option, and they are using the Owl drone just to determine whether or not Knight did pick it up. They are going to spot it, and this should be a rotate outer. Maybe not. Might want to try and hold for a little bit longer, but Bridge grabbing Sunny. This looks like it's just going to be a save for Knight. Sunny's in such an awkward spot for St. John's that any gun over is pretty big. But Tennessee, I really like how they are stepping up. They're being a little more dynamic with this op. They're posting their threats. They're showing they have different options that they can play the game with. And once Bridge has this op in their hands, it feels like it's a completely different team. He's just playing with confidence, and everyone else is as well.
Hold on, Knight's not done yet. Never mind, it's Bridge who's not done yet with St. John's University as he finds his 4th kill. A near flawless ace coming in from the operator. And this guy, dude, absolute monster with the op. And he has been one of the leading factors as to how we saw University of Tennessee taking 4 rounds in a row after that 5-0 scoreline. Hey, I wonder when we saw that last time.
The second half of Haven, right? But the script was flipped, where I think it was Tennessee who started off really hot, and then St. John's get 4 in a row, and of course we know how that half ended. So, of course, there's still room for St. John's to bounce back, but Tennessee, they've got all the momentum. They're forcing some stylistic changes out of St. John's, and the fact that that is being caused, and we're seeing these changes, shows how Tennessee are not backing down from this. There's so much setup on A. This is the first time that we've seen it out in tree, and really, really well done. I'm just getting impressed by Tennessee as they've really stepped up, and Bridge gonna win that Marshall v. Op duel, but was still second on the shot. So Sunny, who knows? Maybe they're the better opera as we step forward.
Absolutely. Sunny, did have the Marshall in hand, couldn't do much with it. Fortunately, did what he could, but Bridge still managed to come out on top here. St. John's University looking to push towards A short here, and it's not going to be easy whatsoever. We got BBMG waiting with the Vandal in hand, so Void needs to be very careful about his next few steps. Over on the other side of the map, we got Knight and the KJ pushing in towards mid, spotted almost immediately, and Bridge, who, if that shot connected, that would have been very troublesome for St. John's University. SBL finds Knight, leaving Smalls to be the last man alive over at mid. King takes one down, so an opportunity for St. John's University to do something here. Bridge taken down. Feeling a little too confident there, Bridge. Smalls with the Sheriff coming in clutch. However, it's not going to be enough whatsoever. 4v2. Small getting out of line, leaving Kenny to be the last man alive here. This Marshall in hand, I'm sure not staying alive here would be the best option if you want the economy in your hands, and that is going to be the case. Curbs brings it 5-5 in game number 2 on a set.
Whew. All even. 10 rounds in. I like it. And it's a mirrored scoreline for both sides. You could literally fold it up and see the exact same result for both squads. They win 4, and then there's a little bit of a back and forth right there in the middle. Whew. Let's go, UTK. Answering back after a really not a weak start, but I'm going to say a confident start from St. John's. They've managed to force the pace of the game to slow down. They've gotten better at retaking these full sight hits, or at the very least reacting to them, as we're already seeing the double stars lined up. 3 players near this A site, as that is going to be the lockdown committed. There's no Hunter's Fury to immediately answer this, so this is probably just going to be the space conceded once they have to. And it's going to be a little tight at the end, as that's going to have to be a dash out from Bridge. Woo, real tight, but this will be the site for St. John's.
Real tight, real close as Bridge looking to head back. Knight finds curves over at short, as we see SBL and BBMG over at Haven. Did I say Haven? I meant Heaven. Just pretty close terms here, but looking to push through the smoke might not be the best idea. Bridge flashed away. Do they find the kill? No, you don't. Bridge decides to push and finds Smalls and gets another kill with the operator. BBMG takes one down as well, and as the dust settles, we are present in a 1v1 King versus Kenny. St. John's University, can you break the chain? Can you take a round back into your own hands? It's now or never. King, he's just pushing in, but he's looking at the wrong direction. Kenny takes him down, and finally St. John's University, after 5 rounds in a row, get their first round win.
Huge round for St. John's. It was so back and forth and really, really scrappy on site. And the fact that they were able to just barely come out ahead. Kenny, nerves of steel. Not a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, as they did break the chain. So good to see them coming through and preventing that from just being a 1-half for Tennessee. Now the onus is on those folks from Knoxville to put it together, make this an even half, and hop on to attack and try and make this a 3-map series. We're going to see the aggression out of Bridge. Little quick scope, going to get caught, so that's just a clean 1-for-1. Doesn't mean no KJ for the post plant, but with the lockdown being used last round, you care about other members, as here comes the rest. BBMG going big, grabs 2 up, looking for number 3, and that's going to hold the round for UTK unless Knight goes crazy. Tip, tip, tap, and we are to 1v1.
And the crazy is happening right here as we see Knight. Okay, Knight, this is not a playground that you can just run around, and we got curbs over at Heaven to watch out, making some great plays to bring this down to a 1v1. Unfortunately, could not grasp the presence of curves at Heaven, and it's gonna be 6-6 now in the first half.
All evened up. We expected it to be even. Now we're dead even, and this is gonna be a moment where we see what kind of style does UTK want to take moving forward on attack, right? We know that sometimes they like to play a little slower, but when they get confident, they need a couple rounds where they're allowed to be aggressive to, I think, build up that confidence. And that's what really created the string of 4 rounds they got in a row last half. So looks like they're just leaning towards this to be an A split. I like that approach for first round on Ascent, and especially because St. John's are already stacked up towards that B site.
You know, getting inside your opponent's heads is, I would consider it to be relatively easier on the offensive side. But, you know, given St. John's University now on defense, I can expect some great things from them. We see Bridge trying to push in, not looking in the right direction. Knight playing a great game with the smoke there. Almost finds the second one as well, but the push towards short has been slowed down, and Tennessee will have to consider other options.
And for one, really, really good initial peak from Knight, and grabbing that early pick is going to be huge for this round. But for UTK, you need to have someone watching that option, especially if you're trying to owl drone in that smoke that just got dropped. I guess they were assuming it was for a deep tree play, but this is a pistol round. You have to be able to respect that smoke push, and it works out well for St. John's, giving themselves the early advantage, removing a lot of the early util that was invested by UTK to grab that cat coverage. And it's going to come down to, it looks like they do want to re-aggress through mid, probably transition to Marquette. I think that's their best decision, as we've seen so many members already move towards A.
Kenny's playing a very smart game here, spamming through the Sheriff, has put in some points of damage, as we see the St. John's University heading towards B side here, as University of Tennessee now closing in as well. And they have been utterly eliminated over at Marquette, which has now become a graveyard from the players of Tennessee. 6-7 being the scoreline. St. John's take the pistol round.
Huge momentum winner for St. John's. It's exactly how last half started, and going up 4 in the second half is a lot more impactful and a lot more demoralizing than going up 4 in the first. But UTK, they want to be aggressive. They are going all in on the Stingers, but this is a long map, lots of long sight lines, so they're going to really have to hope that no one's really contesting out mid, and they're fortunate the only member so far is a Stinger.
I'm very surprised as a push with the Stinger was not directly towards the side, and instead they've decided to choose mid to be the one to go for. Fortunately, they are able to find one, but I don't believe it's gonna be monumental. Never mind, SBL with the Stinger in Classic is put down too. And just like that, University of Tennessee are on the right track to find yet another round. Knight, oh my god, that flash turned out to be fatal for Knight's spray there. Just like that, however, Smalls has put it down to a 2v3. Once again, this is Spectres versus the Stinger. The Spectres are going to come out on top at such a range. Astra's stars could be the deciding factor here. Curbs also has a Spectre in hand. It's all about the health here, and it's going to be St. John's University with an amazing retake. The health points coming out on top, and I mean, even if we do not talk about the health, this is just some great Valorant coming in from the boys in blue.
I have no words. Just really impressive individual showings out of the St. John's players. Smalls and Knight doing a lot of work, keeping calm under pressure. Have to be impressed by that, right? But for Tennessee, you have Stingers. Sure, there was a Marshall that SBL wanted to try and aggressively hold, but I think your strength in this moment is playing an unexpected game, not holding traditional angles, sitting in corners on your off angles to try and strike out and make these Stingers work. Looks like they're just going for the run back, and I don't mind it. You never expect the back-to-back Stinger buys, but it is going to be off of a much stronger buy up from St. John. So seems that Sunny's already sniffed it out, but Bridge grabs the first kill.
Down to 47 health though. Has the gun to work with mid control completely theirs at the moment. Never mind, we got Knight pushing in with the Spectre. He has found one, and control has been switched. However, the flash is going to do a lot of damage. SBL takes him down with a Stinger. And it's just a bit of a chess game over at mid as we see University of Tennessee now pushing in towards Marquette. SBL and the Killjoy leading the charge. Ooh, SBL almost gets spotted there. Void. Can he do some damage? No, he's facing all of the players at the exact same time. And we are in a bit of a very similar situation as we saw earlier. St. John's University now making a retake towards B side with Smalls, 20 health to his name. And we got King with very similar health as well. How do they make this retake happen? Gotta be careful with the peak, which he is. 2v2 here. Curbs.
Don't give me deja vu. It's such a similar spot. It's so scary.
And they're using the default positions again, and Kenny, he sees it coming. The smoke's done, but still comes out on top this time with the Phantom, and just like that, Smalls with 20 health to his name, never mind, has brought this down to a 1v1. Oh, he sees him. But BBMG Stinger comes out on top as he's left with 3 health. What a close round this time, but it's going to be University of Tennessee coming out on top.
Oh my goodness. The turret on the backside, turning it into a 1v1. 3 HP left on the Astra, left on BBMG. I mean, come on, you can't write a closer round than that. But UTK with the read, they realize, hey, they weren't ready for the Stinger by the first time. I bet they won't be ready the second, and run through their opponents. A very similar mid play. And even though Sunny was trying to contest it a little bit more aggressively, having that Phantom just was not ready for the immediate onslaught of SMG fire. And it works out as now it's St. John's who are having to buy down and have this half buy. So Bridge already stepping up, but this is where it gets a little dangerous. Knight has the Marshall, but we've all seen point blank Marshalls do some madness. So both teams holding on. It does get spotted. Gets the collateral!
Oh my God. Yep, just Knight things, Peeks in with a scout. Doesn't even matter. He finds 2. And just like that, the short's been cleared away from any of the Tennessee's players. And, everybody's taking a bit of a breather here to just contemplate what happened. King on the Vandal is going to be finding the push from Void. And B site could be a prospective place to be at. The Spike, however, currently outside A. Enclosed between A main and a short Knight, ready to take down another man. Is he able to do it? Find out soon enough. 3 of the players just hanging around over at the spawn side, but the information has already gone through. Knight knows where they are, and the call's been made. You can see the Koyate rotating as well. And
Ready?
the caging in situation is now going to be starting up.
Judge. It's a judge for Sunny! Oh, he nearly
Judge
just
and a
runs
shorty.
out.
It's not just a judge, Turbo. It's a judge and a shorty coming in from St. John's University. Look at that. 2 rounds now, 2-round lead now for St. John's. And it's like I said, the defense on the defensive side, you can be the unpredictable one now.
And we're gonna see a timeout taken by UTK. So it is, I think, a necessary time when you finally answered back. It's just been thrifty, like force buy after force buy after force buy. And the fact is, the one time the defense does it, they're able to mix up that tempo. Honestly, I'm going to say Knight got lucky that round. And the fact that he got that lucky is, I think, the scariest part for UTK. Not so much that it's repeatable, but that it gets in your head that should have been a round we won. We should be up by more. We should be even. And removing that kind of thought process from the team and taking away that sort of blame for this kind of moment or this question of what should have happened. Reality is, it did happen. Knight grabs a collateral 2K, opens the round wide open, and there's no options left. That's just the state of affairs. Now you have to step forward and make do with it. You're going to be buying once St. John's have 10, unless somehow they make something happen with this Stinger and this Sheriff in hand. I doubt it, but still, they're looking ahead to the next buy round. That's your focus. That's what you need to think about.
Well, what do you think went down in that last time out here for Tennessee? You know, there's still on a bit of an eco, so St. John's University shouldn't have a lot of trouble moving it to the double-digit scoreline.
Yeah, and for Tennessee in this timeout, they have to just accept that, right? They have to know we're probably going down to double digits. That's fine. We have to be able to step up here, and I like this bridge running up, but the Odin.
Oh, down to 14 health. Sunny needs to be careful now with the Odin. As Kenny finds SBL, it's gonna be a bit of a fest here as Smalls finds yet another. The Odin doing ton of damage. And you know, it's not just the damage, it's the intimidation. It's the intimidation of the bullets raining through it. All the footsteps running towards the players. And just like that, in a matter of 30 seconds, University of Tennessee is now down by 3.
This is the break point. If you lose this round as Tennessee, you're playing for the tie. You're playing for 5 in a row to try and bring it all the way back and make this series go to 3. Trying to hope for that fracture pickup, right? But if you're St. John's, in your head, you're thinking, okay, let's just play cool, let's play calm, let's play collected. That's what they're doing. They've got a nice setup together. They're getting early information, and they're not playing anything all that risky. So I like this approach from both teams, each trying to take as much free space as possible and then convert it. They're just ahead of this smoke, and SBL and Bridge are going to be very dangerous.
And you know, what I've noticed from both of these teams is whenever they were on the defensive side, mid was always left open. So there is a bit of a strat here that I would love to implement into my game sometime.
Yeah, oh my gosh, they're just waiting around this alarm bot for so long, and
no,
they don't kill it. That's unfortunate.
That is so unfortunate.
And Sunny.
Oh, Sunny with the Odin hiding behind the molly has found one. He found the second one as well. The trade finally comes out there at BBMG, and Curbs are now going to be pushing it towards B. Oh, it's not spotted yet. The cage is still very much alive as we see SBL and BBMG along with Curbs moving in towards side, getting that spike down. Once again, like you said, this is the most crucial round for the University of Tennessee. They need this win right here if they want to have any chance of taking this game. Kenny, B main push, he finds him, gets eliminated, and that's a 1v3. For Smalls, not much you can do anymore, and University of Tennessee have gotten what they needed, a round victory, and this is now going to be a 2-round deficit for University of Tennessee. 2 rounds away from equalizing the game.
A really big round, but it was pretty expensive. They had to use the null command, they had to use the Astral Divide, they had to use the Hunter's Fury to try and lock it down. I mean, you could make an argument the Hunter's Fury wasn't needed, but still, it got used, right? And you're facing down a few pretty solid ultimates from St. John's. Not a ton that synergizes all that well, right? Omen TP is useful, not as useful on defense except for a fast rotate. The Blade Storm is good for ecos. That Hunter's Fury is good for denying the plant, or for denying the lockdown that Tennessee has available to them. But at this point, St. John's also have to keep their mentals up. They have to realize we're also in a tough spot. We just have to do as much damage as possible. and make sure we're still playing for the win as really tight dive away.
And he manages to survive. That's all that matters here. 10-8 turbo. This could not get any more intense. We were right about this game being intense, and the Knight is gonna bring in the heat here along with Void. Taken down by King, but he has been spotted. 45 health. Is gonna be taken down by Sunny, leaving Bridge to be the last man alive for a few seconds before going down. And you know, we were talking about the last round analysis, and just like that, St. John's University have taken a round right back to their own hands.
And did you notice St. John's took an almost identical approach that they did the previous round, just relying on the fact that UTK wouldn't try and push out mid again, and that gamble worked. They went for the early A aggression, they got the flash, and they converted onto 3 players immediately. And the fact that they're willing to say, you guys just did something, I doubt you're going to try and repeat that play, knowing that we have the potential to counter it. So instead, it's like the super mind games, right? Where you're going back and forth, and now Kenny's the one dropping their counterpart, and Knight trying to take us to 12 up for St. John's.
And that was 10 seconds. Finding 2, make it 3 now as Smalls takes down another. SBL, Stinger in hand, is going to be taking down Knight, who's got a little overconfident there with that Omen teleport. Void pretty close over at top mid. I do have the spike under control, so it's not going to be easy for Tennessee whatsoever to get this back into their own hands. King does have the Vandal. It could start with a bit of a push from B short, trying to pick somebody, try to pick people off one by one. But the spike pick, if you're going from top mid, that's a death sentence.
I just don't know how SBL tries to do this, right? I'm not sure why they're not trying to pick up that Phantom that was dropped over on the side, and eventually they are. It's a Vandal, excuse me, but 40 seconds left. There's still time to work with, but oh no, they're not ready for this deep flank, and it's going to catch them right on the timing, and the front fight's lost, the back flank works. 12 up for St. John's. And
that is... Man, I'm so sorry for cutting you out there.
No.
It's basically a statement there, you know. Sunny rather said to King, "If you're not gonna flank us, I'm gonna flank you, and you better be quick about it."
Yeah, that's really what happened. Now there's as much money as St. John's could want. 4 Guardians now put together for Tennessee. There's going to need to be some real... Or 3 Guardians, 1 Phantom, excuse me. But they're going to need some real headshots, some real aimbot, so to say, to find this round back. Because St. John's, they've been controlled. They've used... they've had aggressive moments and then answered back with more passive play, just like this, right? They're aggressing out of mid and catwalk instead of aggressing out of A. They're conceding a lot of space B, but letting the ops sort of anchor that position. They're spreading their resources so well in a way that most optimally can sort of let their economic might be felt, as we're about to see contact. Bridge barely missing the shot, and oh, it actually snatches it right back onto Kenny. That's a big opening pick.
Absolutely, it's not over yet. University of Tennessee still have what it takes. If he can find the second kill, he cannot. Sunny takes him down, shuts down the prospect of taking B side. We see Knight pushing in from B short here, and he gets his first kill. Yes, he can. Takes down the turret. King is gonna get flashed, and Knight is gonna be taking down. But okay, all right, that's something that I see in my competitive games, but we let it go.
Oh man, and somehow Tennessee have just won a few isolated duels and turned this right around. A little bit of hubris from St. John's, but Smalls, their strongest player, still alive, brings it back to 1 standing, and BBMG will try and get the plant money. Don't think it'll quite come through. And they definitely could have used an extra couple creds. University of Tennessee just going to be buying down for the rest of this game. For St. John's, they have a little bit of a buffer area. They can afford to lose a round or 2. Their economy not as infallible as I once thought. That Op and Odin buy is going to be chunking quite a bit into it. Still have 1 more buy, but could certainly turn around if Tennessee can win this one convincingly. But if I'm St. John's in this moment, you just need one of the next 3. You want to take it here. Play for information. It's what they're doing. They're stacking a little bit towards the B site because they have the KJ on A. The setup is going to be pretty deadly, as Tennessee are setting up for a pretty quick hit off the back of this lockdown.
Turbo, on a side note, quickly, I gotta respect the rivalry between these two teams. We got such an audience here. We got 30 viewers just like watching and supporters from both of the universities beefing at each other. No, our team's better. Yeah, shout out to Chat, doing such a great job in keeping that part of the stream entertaining. And the players are trying their very best, and this has been an absolute blast of a match to watch. Even if it results in a 2-0, which we can't say for sure, this has been one of the closest games that we'll probably see on today's stream.
Oh, most likely is Sunny grabbing 2 right off the bat. That is all you could ask for from your Odin player. Smalls just lurking around, snatching one back. It's going to be all up to King, who's on this super deep flank. Does have the lockdown. I missed to see in the initial setup that the KJ was on this deep lurk, so was not actually able to use the lockdown for the initial take. Will opt for it on the retake.
Wait, why is King running away from the lockdown? He's like, wait, this is my lockdown.
It felt like there was an idea to potentially try and go for...
oh my god, did you see how far King jumped? And with 10 seconds remaining, I do not see the spike going down. That is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be St. John's University taking the second game on Ascent on a 13-9 scoreline. And that is the closest this best of 3 series is going to get. What a game. What a series. Hats off to every single player here for making this one of the most entertaining streams of this week.
Yeah, they both really took it to each other. I was really impressed by just how close these teams are. I mean, it shows in the standings right now. UTK, they're going to go to 7-3. St. John's are going to go to 8-3. They're going to be separated by like 1 match. It's going to be super, super close as we move closer and closer to the end of the split and eventual playoffs. But these two teams, they put it all out on the maps. Tennessee, I think this is probably one of the best matchups you can look back on and see a lot of moments that could have been just a little bit better. A lot of VOD review practice, a lot of things that can be tightened up, and I think make them just a stronger team overall. So good performance from both teams. St. John's played a fantastic game to take the 2-0.
Absolutely. And hey, we got one more series. None other than, I believe, I remember, yes, UT Arlington going up against University of Hawaii in a bit of a longer break this time. But hey, we need to make sure that the West Coast catches up to us, right? So we'll be back very shortly after a bit of a longer break, but we will see you guys very soon. The Valorant action is not over yet.